What's up, everybody? It's Eve. Follow me on Twitter and YouTube for space recordings and special live programs. 2024, we're doing things a little different if you haven't peeped game by now. So, yeah, this is your chance. You can do it now if you want. Hit the bell here on YouTube at JustEveB or find me on X at Justice, the number 4, Just Us. That's JUSTICE, the number 4, JUST underscore US. And if you feel so inclined, support my channel and the work we do over here. The Cash App and Patreon links are in the description. Black first. Jason, that was a good song, right? I think that's a good song to start out at least our part of the conversation. Again, welcome to the stage. Welcome to my space.
Thank you. Thank you. It is appropriate for what we about to have a conversation for. And for
I
those
mean,
that
I'm
are
not an orphan or anything, but I mean,
no,
just how people can kind of leave you uh, to the side based off of, some life shit. I kind of felt that. And I think maybe you've been there and maybe you've felt that. So I feel like maybe we can kind of share that. But I know that there's going to be some talk about the fact that we are in agreement about this, for that. And
mhm.
wherever you want to go, let's go.
In the sake of all honest, and let's be, and I'm going to want us to be very transparent, and for all the people that are listening, and please, if you can, if you want to, or if you even care, share the space. But in the interest of all transparency and honesty, I will tell you that me and Eve for a while had a falling out. Okay, we were not speaking, but
For a long
I had
time.
for a long time, but it was over something that I gave her a warning about.
Whole warning. I think
Okay.
there's evidence of this of the conversation.
It was a falling out because I gave her a warning. And all is forgiven and bygones be bygones because I want folks to understand that there's a lesson to be learned here and that we need to be mindful of the people that that present themselves to the community, especially those that ask for funds from the community. Okay. And that, we have to, like they always say, checking folks' paperwork. Well, the people who scream check paperwork, you might need to check they paperwork. And I'm gonna just leave it at that. I've always been transparent. I've never hid who my name was. I've never hid my picture, who I was. You know how I am. Anybody that knows me knows that I am married to a black woman. I have black children. Okay. I am what I am. I'm very transparent. I've never hid who I am. Okay. So I've been around, you know, I have no interest in being on social media like that. I don't walk around with a YouTube platform. I don't want that. That's not a pursuit of mine. I'm in the medical field. I do other things that are way more important than sitting on my days on social media going back and forth with folks. Okay. I'm not opposed to anybody getting what they want. Okay. I'm not opposed to anybody, as if you had the tag FBA or Black American or descendant of a slave, I'm not opposed to anybody getting what is owed to them. Never been opposed to that. Never been a hater of that. What I am opposed to is those that use that argument to take advantage of people in the community or use that argument to cause division amongst the community. And that's what I'm against. And that's what I'm opposed to. I'm always for the group. And if you don't believe that, it is what it is. But we'll get into it.
No, that's definitely a good point to start with because, the audience probably remembers, the back and forth that you've had with certain people, before I guess you started going more on the real life aspect, right? Because it's really people exist in real life and you're either doing work that's helping us or you're not. And sitting online all day talking about things that could be done is a role that people could take if that's what they want to do, but I don't know if that's moving the needle as much as a person working in a school or a person working in a hospital, a person working as a servant for the people, and that's just a government type of situation, like our paycheck, our 9 to 5, right? The additional things that people might do for the community. I think that stuff matters. And again, if the bulk of what you're doing is just talking about things that could be done online, that is a role that we've given people. And I'm not saying it's not important because a lot of stuff people wouldn't know about because a lot of y'all listen to people online. So there's nuances that should be appreciated. But at the end of the day, people are living their real lives and doing what they feel is best to help move us towards what's owed to us. So, Jason, just for transparency purposes, you got into beef of sorts with one member of the New Black Media, and then the member of the New Black Media that you were cool with kind of just never intervened, never did anything in your support, and just kind of left you alone. Is that accurate, would you say?
It's an accurate statement.
Okay.
It is something that I'm not. I'm not. I would say more disappointed in the fact that people say what they say, but then when it comes to actually standing on it, they don't do it, and that's fine. I can take that as an adult and as a man. I can take that. That doesn't bother me. Okay, that's why for the most part, I didn't mention that person that didn't stand with me. I just walked away from it. I walked away from the situation. Okay. And like I said, for all intents and purposes, I will just tell you straight up. It's nothing for me to sugarcoat. The person that I called out initially was Tariq and his building of his hidden history quote museum. Okay. Now, from some very good people that were in LA. Okay, I don't say things without actually knowing. So from people in LA, they told me that it was a bunch of bullshit. Okay, it was a bunch of bullshit. Okay, what he initially put up for his crowdfunding with all these designs and showing you that empty lot, it was a bunch of bullshit. Okay, and that was from very good sources from people that live in LA. Okay, all right, it's nothing that I went looking for. People gave me that information. Okay, and that was just a warning. It wasn't against it. It was just a warning to folks because you can't say one thing that say by saying museums are not beneficial to us when white folks build us a museum, but then turn around and ask the community to give you money to build a museum and say, how does that benefit us? How does that get the group closer to anything that they're ultimately trying to get? But that's whatever. But anyway, I said what I said. I said my piece. And and when I mentioned this to the other person that I was in full support of and who I was working, they say one thing on the phone. Hold on, I know I see the thumbs down, but they'll say one thing on the phone in private, but then they will get on the computer and they'll get on the internet and say something totally different. And that's where my issue comes in. If you're going to be uncompromising, then be uncompromising. If not, then don't speak. Feel me? And that's where those things are. So whether you like it, like what I say, it's whatever. Doesn't matter. Doesn't put. Hey, you can believe whatever you want to believe.
And look to the room. I guess that's my point about some of these things. We are not going to agree about everything, really. I
Mm,
mean,
not
really.
supposed to.
We're if And from there, I do support Tariq, and I have supported the museum. I've been there.
Hmm.
I've spent money there, and for what it's worth, I think that it was a purchase that needed to happen. So me and Jason don't agree on that. However, until something happens where I can't even think about Tariq right now because he hasn't done anything to harm me. We're being transparent about the conversation and why all of this matters. So, as far as the timeline, Jason kind of backed up from all of this internet stuff when, when the museum was coming about. From there, again, people are going to feel how they feel. And, maybe you feel like when you say something negative, it hurts the movement, but it really doesn't, because you know what hurts the movement? People not moving. And that's my point about tonight. It's when the movement stops because people aren't doing the work. And when you start leveling, engaging what actual work's been done, a lot of y'all have been hoodwinked and bamboozled, and for right reason. I mean, there's a person who's studied people for a very long time and knows how to talk to people. And again, if this is what you need, a person to explain the news to you, then that's cool. But I really hope that y'all are people who do something with the information. Me and Jason have had that argument, Jason Reed, on this
Hmm.
line, because for all intents and purposes, Jason Black, his name is Jeremy, so I can't call him Jason anymore because his name is Jeremy. His mama named him Jeremy, so I'm gonna call his ass Jeremy. And if he doesn't like it, he can eat a dick, really. So, Jason, for unless another Jason comes through the space, the Jason that I'm talking about is Jason Reed, whose name is actually Jason fucking Reed. Okay, anyway, what was I saying? Oh, we've had this whole argument, right? About what was the argument that I was about to say? Do you remember what the argument was?
That we did have a disagreement about the museum and that, but regardless, people were still going to do the work, whether or not something along that lines.
Yes. All right. That's the argument because for a long time, Jason Reed was around Jeremy longer than me. And I would tell him that I don't understand why there's so many people who've been listening to this man for so long who haven't done anything. Is that right or wrong? Is that am I making that up or did we have that conversation?
We did have that conversation, and like, you know, we've had that conversation before, and I told you, I said a lot of people will sit up on the internet and they'll listen religiously week after week, but when it comes time to actually moving, and I'm being honest with you, I've been I've rode for what we would call the new black media for probably over 10 years now. Okay. And I went to this, I was out at the 7 a.m. premiere. I was at the B1, the Black Empowerment Convention out in Chicago. It's funny that I said like the other day that, a couple of days ago, my son just turned 8 years old. And when I went out to he hadn't been born yet when I went out to the B1 convention. That's how long it's been that they've been talking about doing things, you know what I'm saying, about putting things in place where you've when you had Boyce Watkins there at the B1 convention, you know, uh, when you had Claude Anderson out there, all the various other people that were out there. We're talking about almost like 8 years, going on 8 years plus years since 7 a.m. And we're looking at what has been accomplished. And ultimately, all the people that have tuned in, only a few people have moved, only a few, but
Only a few. And
only a few. And
that's been the
Eve is one of
argument,
them. And
right?
I'm going to be honest with you, Eve is one of them. Um, Eve has put up billboards in certain places. We've had conversations. I've told her where to put. I've given her information on where with Clyburn was running. I told her she asked, should I put up a billboard in South Carolina? Yeah, you should. You should, and it should say this. And you need to challenge those people that are running for office, what are they going to do for the group, as you would call foundational Black Americans? I was never opposed to the term foundational Black Americans or ADOS. I was never opposed to it. Okay, that's something I've never been against. That's fine. You can call yourselves whatever, but what are they going to do for the group? As long as the message was always about getting reparations for that group, I have no problem about it. My issues became going at immigrants or whatever. That is what it is, but Black immigrants are the least of your issues. You have Hispanics here that you have to compete against. Okay. As you all are seeing now, you have you have Palestinian immigrants that are talking about getting reparations. You still have Jewish folks that are in there where governments are saying they can get reparations, but nobody's saying, okay, what about Black Americans? Can they get them reparations? Ain't nobody gives a shit about that. Okay. But you still have these representatives still talking about, oh, vote for me, vote for me, vote for me. So no, this is what the conversation was way back then when me and Eve had these conversations about putting up billboards, trying to get the attention. She was actually putting in work. I've sent her money to put billboards up. Okay. I don't know how many of you have done that, but I've done that. Okay. So I never was one that was just did the talk. I actually did. I actually was a doer.
All right,
Okay.
let's get to the thumbs down. Go ahead, Negro. You have a question or a disagreement?
Um, I have a lot of things with some of the things that's being promoted here.
What's
But first,
being
but first,
pause? No, pause. What's being promoted here?
just I'm talking about the individual that's on the stage, not directed towards you. So
Okay,
if you have
Okay.
but
nothing,
no, I
you have nothing.
understand. I understand.
Um,
Here's the thing. No, here's the thing. I'm gonna let you speak, and you're allowed to have a disagreeing opinion about people. My point tonight is that people who say that they're doing something and then aren't doing something should be scrutinized the same level as y'all are scrutinizing me. And for what it's worth, Jason, right now, because again, I don't think that we all have to agree about certain things as long as you agree that we're owed payment in cash to us specifically right now. And outside of that, I don't understand why it matters, because if all of us are on that, then we get paid. That is how every other group works. They fight after they get what they're supposed to be getting, and quote unquote what they're supposed to be getting. They're not supposed to be getting anything because we're owed. So, Negro Black Knights Heritage, again, you can disagree or not feel or whatever, but please keep in mind the whole point of this space is that we're not going to agree on everything, but we should be in agreement about the work. And if the work is what's important to y'all, then I got receipts. But can y'all say Mr. 8 a.m., Mr. Jeremy Lloyd Smith has receipts outside of a documentary that, y'all are funding right now? And we're going to get into that in a little bit. Or, some billboards that needed to come out. But, again, if y'all want billboards, put a billboard out. It's not hard. And if you don't have the money, if other people agree with you, they will help you do it. How do I know? I've done it myself. That's called doing the work.
Okay, it's more or less outside communities getting involved. I'm a firm believer in delineation. So that means, and people who are not tied to our exact experience shouldn't speak on anything that we do. I would go so far as I don't even want them to contribute as much, because they feel like they're like a Bernie Sanders moment. They feel like they're I could say that they're a part of our conversation and they're not really, or that
Okay,
they're
let me ask you
leading
this though. Let me ask
the
you this. Who is gonna cut the check that's owed to us? Is it gonna be a foundational Black American, a Negro Black American, a freedman? Is that what is reality? I mean, it might be what you'd like to happen, but what's reality?
I get where you're going at. I'm
No,
talking
not
about
where I'm going. I need you to actually go
the
there with me,
reality is
because
it could be us, or it could be people from the American society at large. We don't know yet at this time frame because it's still yet to be determined.
okay,
The
so
point that
to what you just said, me and you are in disagreement, because I believe that the Biden should cut the check. And when Biden's not in office, whoever the fuck else is in office should cut the check. I have a very real idea of who owes. And from there, it's if we're going to be paid by somebody else, then, and all these other groups can use all of these other people to shit on us, then why are we looking at it like that? That's my question about not wanting to associate or receive the assistance of people who are not of the lineage.
Yeah, okay, yeah. The reason why is because what I've been observing from like just an outside, like from an outside perspective, when it comes to immigrants involving into our affairs, what I've been noticing is that certain immigrant groups have been grabbing intel with the purpose and the attention is to try to usurp reparations from our group. That's the reason why I'm a firm believer of just, if we're going to talk about things that's pertaining to lineage based and things that we need, that we should hey, brother, you mad distracting with the mic over there,
No, that's
brother.
it's my mic because an ambulance just went by. I apologize.
Oh,
Go ahead.
okay. No, it's all good. You just either or it could be a little distracting. Just one of the things that I observe is that there's other ethnic groups that have been figuring out ways to get into our justice claim based off the data and the information and the historical nuance that we talk about online. So this is kind of the reasons why I'm totally against any immigrant group. I don't care what color they come in,
Okay, now I'm sorry.
interfering.
I'm gonna have
May,
to
may
keep
I may I
interrupting
may
you.
I, may I
Wait,
interject?
wait.
I don't have a co-host tonight, and I'm not doing that. Like I said, I'm gonna allow you to talk, but we're gonna be focused on my point. And if you can't be focused on my point, then okay. But this is gonna keep happening. The point is that for tonight, we're really talking about Jeremy Lloyd Smith, aka Jason Black, and to my point for having Jason read up here, I believe that he is uh, uh, um, um, responsible for a lot of people listening to him. I also believe that I'm responsible for a lot of y'all staying around and listening to him. And as such, I think that people who have propped up people who are not supposed to be there are supposed to take accountability in their role in propping up these people, whatever it is, and then again get back. to work. Because again, at the end of the day, a lot of y'all have accepted the fact that Jeremy exposing me is okay because he said it was okay. And then from there, I'm supposed to get back to work when it has actually affected my actual life. People are actually calling schools in my area trying to figure out if I work there. The fuck? For what? And to my point about people doing work, I am one of 4 people in this state who is speaking for reparations for us, specifically to the people who could cut the check for us. Like, Virginia could be the first state on the map that cuts a fucking check. But now that any of the people who I go to these meetings with, and I'm talking about delegates and such, could Google me or whatever because my shit's out there, because this nigga got mad for whatever reason, none of that shit's acceptable. And I can't just keep sitting back and he's $200,000 for 8 a.m. We're gonna get there. But Negro Black Knights Heritage, I hope you can understand my reason for cutting you off, because again, it's not necessarily that other people or cultures are speaking on something that's ours, as much as I feel like anybody who has allowed somebody in our circle or in the circle of what we're supposed to be doing should take accountability and then again get back to work. So go ahead.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. What I have a suggestion then. If we're going to talk about people within our lineage and about their actions or behavior, I'll feel more comfortable if it's just with our lineage. Per se, I don't like. It's just my personal preference. I don't like outsiders. I don't care what they come in.
I understand.
Because
And if
because
that's how you feel, that's cool. That's,
that
you're
was
allowed to
just
feel like that. But
yeah.
to my point, to the point of the room, because you told me that you wanted to say something about a person. That's not why we're here. I don't agree with Jason Reed about stuff. We've already talked about that. I want to know how y'all niggas feel about Mr. Black Empowerment violating me. And then you're about to give him $200,000 for a documentary that I worked on for 2 years, that I sacrificed for, that I'm getting shit on for. Y'all, revenge porn is illegal. And maybe he's preparing for a lawsuit. Who knows? But do you, if you knew that that's where the money was going, is would you give your money? And for what it's worth, I've seen the interviews. I think they're great. I think that he thought about things in a way that other people haven't. And to the point of why people even listen to him, I get it. But people should know who they're working with. People should know what the fuck is going on, especially when I hear things like, oh, he's like Malcolm, he's like Khalid Muhammad. Bullshit. I don't think either one of those ancestors would have violated, no matter how hurt they were about the situation with the bitch that they were fucking. And if you disagree, then that's wild, but I'd love for you to publicly say that out loud. Just that you disagree. Khalid Muhammad would have violated a woman because he was mad that she got back with her dude. Okay, but so if you have something to the space, I would love for you to go there. But if it's about to go back to this delineation, that's cool. We are allowed to delineate. But tonight, I would like all parties involved to be accountable. I'm a party involved, and I've been accountable. Where the fuck is everybody else? Or do y'all agree that this is how we should move? This is Black empowerment.
And I can understand how the brother doesn't. I'm not. It's okay if you want to have
Please don't
your
speak for me.
conversation. I can understand. No, you're not gonna do that. I mean, I
Not
was invited
Jason.
to the space.
Jason. I wanted him to. You jumped in. I didn't even know you were about to start talking. I want him to finish his point about if he had something to say about the space, right? Because
Oh, okay.
that's what I want to talk about. And then if he doesn't, then
I
we don't
mean,
have to go there, because I
that's
feel like
fine.
it's a distraction from what I wanted to talk about.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah. I didn't know it was specifically about Jason per se. I was just coming into the space and whatever. So my take about Jason is I've been listening to him for over 15 plus years. Been listening to him since my my understudy days. What's my take? I say that he has some good advice every once in a while, but There's some things that I think that are up to question, just like any other human being in society. We just have to practice our discernment when it comes to our individuals and look at wherever the information that they're putting down, observe it from the best of light possible. I wouldn't take his word as completely gold, but I would definitely look into what he's saying a little bit more because some of the stuff he has presented is very alarming, is very concerning. I do have I think that film 730, whatever. I did wanted to touch upon the museum. I think the museum is very important. I think any institution that's lineage based, that's in the interest of our community, is essential to our fight. So when I hear a
I do
non
too. Negro Black
what
Knights. No, you can't do that because I've already told you that I agree with that. I've supported with my money and I've been there. So I buy Tariq stuff. I think that he does things in real life. At least he showed up to a meeting, is what I'm saying. Jeremy Lloyd Smith has not shown up to a meeting. He has not shown up to a rally. He has not pulled up anywhere. So
I gotta beg to differ. I think
no.
Unite the Right. He was there. He was there at a couple of other situations. When I said that,
You would have
I've
to
been.
show me documentation that he was there, because if you're going to show me that he took pictures, then I can tell you, as a person who used to take pictures for him,
It
that he
wasn't.
uses the people around him to give him accreditation or validation that he is in these places. So,
Well, the Unite the Right situation was he was challenging Porky Pig. You're talking about Roly Poly Martin, right? So he was turning it back. I think the memory serves me right.
what
The
year
guy
is it?
was
What
this
year?
was Unite the Right was before COVID, and I remember that he was turning himself around on highway because he was doing a live show in his damn truck, and he was talking about it then. So and then he turned back around so he can run down Porky the Pig, Roly Poly Martin. So those are some of the things that I observed where he might have been in the field. He
Okay,
might have
you're
been
telling me
interacting
that
with our
running down
people.
on Roland Martin. Okay, the Unite the Right.
No,
Okay, I'm saying
I'm
the
saying that
Unite
he
the
was.
Right. Let me be clear. The Unite the Right rally, I don't know if he was there or not. So that will be, again, up to whatever evidence people have that he was there. But I know for a fact why he turned around to go confront Rolly. How do I know? Because I was on the phone with him and told him to turn around and go confront Rolly. I said it's very disrespectful for Roland to show up in your state and not want to talk to you. And he said, you know what, you're right. And he made a U-turn on the damn interstate, and everything that y'all saw was because Roland was there, and I made a suggestion that he should go do something about it. Little did I know that Roland had basically already recorded everything and was already on his way out. So a lot of nuances y'all don't know because you're not supposed to. I'm not messy. However, we will get some straightening tonight. It's 8 a.m. somewhere, and it's time to wake this shit up. So if we can't go on the museum because I support the museum, you support the museum. We talking about Jeremy. Let's go. If you don't have anything else, I'm gonna get to Big Boda because his hand's been up for a minute.
I just think that there needs to be an okay. There needs to be an investigation in the guise of when women say that there's certain things that happen to them, right? Like me personally, I didn't go out and search the footage that's of you. I don't do all
Okay,
that
stop.
weirdo
Sorry. I'm gonna have
stuff.
to just drop you down because you can't say that I said something happened to me. There is documentation. There have been clips. I don't know where I stopped. All right, yeah. Negro Black Knights, I removed you because you can't say that this is something that I said happened. I found out that this nigga was posting my ass on the internet from someone who sent me a link to the program. And if I didn't know about the link, I wouldn't have known until after the fact. So shout out to the people who sent me the fucking link because I wouldn't have even known about it. From there, all of this shit. Again, people are calling schools in my area trying to figure out if I work there. Why? Because they want to let them know that I'm this internet whore who's trying to discredit their internet daddy. Fuck y'all. So that's not black empowerment to me. And as it stands, I've not stopped working. And as I've said, I've pulled up, I've been to rallies, I go to meetings. What has Jeremy done? He's put up some billboards. So have I. Okay, we can talk about how much money the billboards cost. I'm not balling. I've never said I was. I needed help, and the people helped. It's on my fucking profile. Without the code, this shit would not have happened. That's me. 100% transparent the entire time. Okay, so now we talked about the billboards. Let's talk about documentaries. I think it's important to put out documentaries. And Boda, you got your hand up. Go ahead. What do you have to offer tonight to my space topic?
Hey, I'm coming in kind of late. I'm sure I didn't come at the beginning of the space, but yeah, I will say, hopefully I can just, shoot this out real quick. I'm gonna be straight to the point real fast. Uh, Jason Black, the Black Authority, that's my man, 100 grand, just off of the fact that he speaks on Black empowerment, which is important to me. Being FBA or B1 Black First. That's important to me. The messages, the breaking news of what these white supremacists are doing, that's important. That's necessary. Now, me personally, I need everything laid out so we can examine this and see where you coming from, Eve, as far as like if he done something wrong towards you. I mean, nobody is above reproach as far as that. Um, Now I'm gonna be real with you. I ain't trying to see no booty or nothing. I just want to see, if he's doing something janky, that need to be examined before I put my money out there to support his next projects and all that stuff. I don't want to be putting money towards no pervert. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's what it is what it is, and we take it from there. But we do need to have a clear view of what's happening. Uh, you know, but like as it is right now, there's still
All
some
right, I feel you.
confusion.
I feel
Yeah.
you. There are still some Twitter handles that have my ass out there, and this is crazy that people would like to see evidence of. But for what it's worth, the evidence was enough to file charges. Is that enough for y'all to, you want to look it up? Look it up. It is public information if you want to, find out if, people who
It's legit, fam. She sent me the screenshot of the charges.
um
So
so
she's not this is not no BS. And
No,
I'm
no,
gonna
no.
be
I'm
no
not.
no no
I'm
no
never.
Big brother. But Big brother, I get what you're saying. You're like me. You were a supporter. You truly understand what it means to the information. I get it. I get it. And this is not about the information that he's putting out there. It's that as a community, one of your own has been wronged in a way that we do not do as men. Something that we should not do as men, regardless of what situations happen offline. But basically posting new pics of a female, of one of your sisters, one of your followers, or somebody that's worked for you, okay, doing it, whether you do it intentionally or whether you do it sly by doing it in a Patreon only group, you know what I'm saying, it's still wrong. And that's what Eve is bringing to everybody's attention tonight, is that these are the things that have been done wrong, that have been wronged, have been done to her, that are absolutely wrong. No, we don't agree on everything. I understand that.
Nah,
Okay.
nah. Look. Nah, I see where you coming from. Now I will not just leave it at all praise for the brother
Right.
Black Authority, Jason Black. One of the things I'm not a fan of is the business where he be
All right, but
yelling
look,
about,
look, I'm glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that because here's the thing. On the business is supposed to be about power dynamics, right? Right or wrong. That's what the whole thing is
yeah.
about. All right, but inside of that, if power dynamics is to be a super simp who is abusive, and that's how you're supposed to get bitches, I think niggas should know. And then if that's the type of dude you want to be, then go be a slime ball. But if you're out here presenting as Mr. Black Empowerment, and then things are supposed to be different because you're not a pookie and you've got all of these trinkets and tangibles, but when it comes down to show and prove that you are who you say you are and the math ain't mathin', well, I think that people should start to look at these people and what they're saying in general, not just the business. Because I know a lot of y'all don't listen to the business, and that's why y'all don't know what the fuck is going on. But to that point, if y'all are not listening to the bullshit that he's putting out, then maybe sometimes, or maybe the real shit is something else. I don't that's my point. So I feel you because again, I've been moved by the message and the messenger, you know, quote unquote, pun intended, whatever. But like, I get that people still need certain people to explain things to them, but they should also know that this is the person who's explaining it to them. And if that's the case, there's other people who can explain shit to you. Professor Black Truth, I think, is an excellent person who can explain things if you need it to be explained to you. But go ahead.
Yeah, man. Pretty much landing my plane there, man. If the brother doing sis is wrong and all this stuff, I can't rock with that straight up, and I'm not gonna float my money out there and look like a fool when I find out somebody, you sharing booty pictures. Like, don't do that. If you're trying to, have something legitimate going on, you can't have that at the same time, is all I'm saying.
For like I always say, I'm gonna be, whether you all think that I should be in the circle, whether you're in the mix, that's irrelevant. It's just that I'm here. Okay, I was invited, and the reason I was invited is because I've been in the group for over 10 years. Okay. It was never always this delineating stuff. It never was that. It was always B1. And that's how I came into the space as someone that was B1. Wherever it's gone the last few years, it's wherever it's gone. I don't agree with it. It is what it is. I don't take this shit personal. You are free to delineate. That's fine. I can openly say I don't agree with Tariq. That's fine. I'm okay. No sweat comes off of my brow. No money comes out of my pocket. No money comes out of his pocket. It is what it is. Okay. That's fine. That's cool. But that's not what we're here to have a discussion about. What we're here to discuss is what has happened to one of your sisters who has reached out to me, and it was something that I warned her about. Okay. I warned her about it.
Hold on 1 second. A key issue, though, for
Mm-hmm.
real, if we talking about this serious issue between the sister Eve and the
Mm-hmm.
brother Black Authority right now, it
Mm-hmm.
kind of takes away from it to have somebody, from Jamaica having their 2 cents in the conversation.
What
I ain't
does
gonna
that
lie.
what does that have to
All
do
right,
with
but look,
anything?
here's the
What
thing,
is, I'm,
though.
no, that's a
Here's
real
the
question because I have to ask the question. What does that have to do with anything? If I witnessed a crime, okay, or if I witnessed
exactly,
something wrong,
exactly.
I'm not supposed to take the stand because, oh, I'm of Jamaican lineage. And by the way, I'm not from Jamaica. By the way, I am of Jamaican lineage. Okay,
Don't
thumbs
We're
down.
not getting into the
That's what I
nuances
said. We're
right
not
now.
getting.
Look,
We're not. That's what I'm
but
saying.
to the
We're not
point,
here to
to
get
that
into that.
point though, that's an excellent point. And Big Boda, that's my point. And I said about being accountable for why certain people got listened to anyway. Because a lot of y'all can act like you've been this, this delineating person your whole life, but I know that's cap. And a lot of y'all who were listening to him who have now delineated, y'all are like me. I 100% delineate across the fucking board. And if Jason Reed was on some shit where we shouldn't get reparations in cash right now, he wouldn't be here. But because we don't disagree there, I'm cool with him saying things that he needs to say, as long as we can keep it there. And again, if
I can I ask a question to the big brother because I to the brother right here because if my lineage was such a big issue, why did Eve feel safe enough to hit me up and say that, look, I need to have a conversation, and this is what's going on, and I
nah, you
need
don't
you.
don't it nah, that question, I'm sorry. I'm gonna
No,
call it
no,
a
just
dumb question because
no, because no, because
it's gonna be that I'm off code. Like that there's only
No,
one
no, no.
reason it's gonna be
I
because
see
I'm
where
off
both of
code.
y'all coming from. I see where y'all coming from. You know what I'm saying? But my point is that reparations alone is not the whole of Black American empowerment. And having somebody from outside the lineage is problematic when we have a serious discussions. You know what I'm
So
saying?
I understand that. So what I would expect, if you're a person who really feels like that, then that's what you would do. Because as it stands, Dr. Short, Sonny, I'm talking about men who've been vocal about this shit in general. And you can say that you don't know what's going on, and a lot of y'all don't know what's going on. But when you find out what's going on, what I'm being told is, Eve, focus on your family. Eve, focus on the work. But then again, the math ain't mathin', because I'm out here doing fucking work, and this nigga's about to get $200,000 for some weak ass trailer that I fucking helped on. Damn, that shit would not be out right now if I didn't find certain people for the damn documentary. But y'all don't know that. And you were never going to know that, because for what? That's messy as fuck. But you exposed me. You violated me. So now I feel like it's pretty even at this point. And I haven't even said half. I haven't even said a third. What's less than that? I haven't even said a tenth of what the fuck I know, because I'm not like that. However, I have a very real grievance, and I'm having an issue making sense of the people who say that they're about what's for us when this nigga tried to nix me out of getting what's mine. Fuck him. And anybody who agrees with him. But go ahead, Boda. No, not you, Jason. Let Boda get out what he needs to get out.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. One question, like, that's not something y'all can hash out. Y'all done blocked each other, or what's going on with y'all communication?
All right. That's the real question that I've been asked before. Here's what happened. Me and my dude got back together, and I found out that my ass was being exposed in addition to other private parts because, I took some pictures and sent it to a person that I was messing with. From there, what am I supposed to do? Tell me. Where's the discourse? Because, as it stands, when I go to look at the link, I'm blocked. I couldn't view the Patreon. I had to view it under a whole other account. So please, let's slow walk it. Tell me what do we do here?
Yeah, that ain't a good look. I ain't gonna lie. I
From
don't know what to
there,
say with that.
look, so from there, after that, I didn't say anything. I said nothing. I talked to the people in my life. That turned into a conversation about what do men do. That's on my YouTube if you want to check it out. And look, I am a person who is trying to do something with my YouTube. So again, for someone to try to like knock me out of whatever it is going on, is this nigga scared of me? I don't know. I've seen him, cower to certain men that y'all probably would be like, I thought he was 6'4", 230, 10% body fat. Bullshit. The picture's
Okay,
out
so
there.
now the key clarity is here. So we got clarity on where Eve was wrong. That okay. So she, you know, communicated with somebody and they shared their private communication on a Patreon that was without permission to do it. Is that correct, Eve?
Yeah, there was zero permission for him to share my images that were shared with him privately to be posted anywhere. And
Okay, that's clearly dirty, sleazy Mac, and
okay,
that's kind of
so
goofy. Yeah.
goofy, it's
Kind of,
illegal.
kind of goofy. That's
Oda,
illegal.
it's illegal,
And
and go ahead, Dr. Short.
there's I've I've been very patient. Tried not look. There are things like threats for bodily harm, other things that are illegal. Sister's being kind. She's really not trying to sink the ship, and people demanding more and more explanation. Whereas you want to defend the person because you respect them and you like the work, but the more information you demand, the more you're going to injure the person that you feel aligned to. She's trying to go her direction, and I guess he's decided to go his. The other people who are demanding all the details, the more you demand, the rabbit hole may be a lot deeper than what you're ready to, and it only gets uglier. We can move forward, and fundamentals is that uh, a person that's not on the chat, but my big brother, who was an original Black Panther, and I talked to him about this, and he was aghast because he learned of brother Jason through me, and 20 whenever within the last 2 years he gave a very blunt assessment of issues he felt he got from listening. I've never said anything to anyone about it. I'm not going to say it now. But when these pictures were released, I just happened to be talking to Eve that night. And it was terrible because they've been, their family harassed, people threatened with bodily harm, certain things that this, and there are other things like promissory fraud. If you are supposedly interested in someone and they've got children and you don't really want to marry them, That's promissory fraud. Why are you saying this? And then why are you, if they go ahead and reunite with the other person and they get married, um, why are you bothering them? They've moved. You've got other people. What do you want? I mean, it can't be if, and then when that person's married, you're now issuing threats to a husband and a wife and ultimately the children. This can't be seen as good leadership. I don't care how many good films, how much great commentary. Why would you threaten a black man and woman married with 5 children when certain people were walking away quietly? Okay, I don't want to get any deeper. I I listen to Black Authority. I love Professor Black Truth. I like Tariq, and I want to just say to Mr. Reed, whereas I am FBA and proudly so. God, I got some Bayesian and Jamaican too. I ain't mad at nobody, but we can treat each other better. And Mr. Reed is correct. I don't care where he comes from in the world. I don't care if they have a higher rate of domestic violence or abandonment of children, say on the island of Jamaica, if someone wants to throw that up. When someone speaks truth, wherever it comes from, we should be able to deal with it, consider the basis of truth versus where someone is coming from. That's what strong people are able to do. I'm not saying that we necessarily need other people in the paint that we have, but uh, the white people's American Revolution, 1/3 of the people that fought to give these white people a country were black. The French, the Dutch, the Spanish, the Indians, these white supremacists got help from the whole fucking world. From Baron von Steuben, the homosexual that trained the army, the Continental Army, yeah, you had a sodomite training the soldiers. From Prussia, they took help from ever the hell they could get it, provided it was on point and on code with what they wanted. We should be able, as a people, to like who and what we are, where we came from, and at the same point, if a person acts like family, we treat them like family until someone messes up. We've got plenty of Fannie Willis's, plenty of Condoleezza Rice's. We're honeycombed by traitors that have lineage in common with us. So, yes, lineage is seriously important to us. However, truth, principles, decency should also count, not so much for people to be in the middle of our business, but if someone came the same way John Brown died for black freedom in this country, he sure did, and gave up his family too. I'm not going to turn down any help that comes our way because nobody likes us. And our sad problem is a lot of us don't like self. And if we did, this discussion wouldn't be going on. I'm going to land my plane.
Thank you. Um, so again, Boda, we understand where you might be coming from, but the rabbit hole is deep as fuck. And I'm not necessarily trying to, you know, out y'all's favorite dude, but
Hey Eve, look, look.
at the
Hey
base,
Eve, I'ma just listen to Professor Black Truth. He ain't no freaky ass nigga like
Nah, no, and look to the point. If y'all want evidence, Judge Joe Brown met both of them in person, and I had him verify live. It's on my YouTube that they are not the same person because people keep doing that, and I understand he's catching strays because he's a faceless person, but I think we that's when we have to look at what's being done. For what it's worth, Professor Black Truth always puts people on. I've never heard Jeremy put anybody on. So let's start there. From there, you'll say, well, he hasn't put out any billboards. Well, what if he can't? Well, he hasn't done any documentaries. Well, what if that's not his calling? What if his calling really is to just explain the news to people? And you got this other nigga who kayfabed his way into y'all's pockets, and he's about to get $200,000 to foot this legal bill he might have in the very near future. And I think
you
that
know
people
what?
should know.
I'm gonna actually check out the Patreon, but I already believe the issue because as I'm watching different episodes of the business show, he got all these booties in the screen. I'm like, oh, okay, let's see what's going on. And I thought I was on OnlyFans for a second when I was watching the business. I'm like, is this Jason Black show? So yeah.
Well, he's live right now if you wanted to tune into it, because that's what people need on a Monday night.
You
But
know what? I think I'm good, but yeah.
Peace, Sonny. Thank you for your patience and welcome to the stage. I have no clue what you wanted to talk about because I've said a lot, but as it stands, I did not hit the record because I started the space with a bunch of music that just would have really copy struck my channel. So I just, whatever. But go ahead. The mic's yours.
Yo, peace. E, what's good with you? Yo, peace to everybody in the
Oh, go ahead,
space.
Sonny. Yeah,
Oh,
peace
okay,
to
you
you.
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
All right, cool. Yeah, shout out to Dr. Randy Short. Peace to everybody. The rest of the family in the space. Um, yeah, man. I'm glad. People standing on truth in this shit, man. Because I mean, I done had I done dealt with a lot of different women in my life, right? I done had my fair share. I just leave it like that. I never had no issue getting women. Since I was little. I was, God bless me, to be a handsome dude. Listen, I done moved around. I done had cribs with my cousin, bare arms. Niggas had bachelor pads, all type of shit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never like leaked nudes or none of the shorties I was messing with, even if she was just a little shorty on the side. Like I've never done that. That's some lame nigga shit. You know what I'm saying? And people got to call that shit out, bro. Like that's lame, bro. I ain't never not even if she wasn't even my main thing. Like I never leaked or was pillow talking. You know what I'm saying? To none of my niggas. And I listen. My girl. Hold on. Yeah. So I ain't like that no more. Nigga, I step outside.
What was fucked up is that I'm a person who doesn't believe in calling them people, and in order to do
My
what needs
bad,
to be
man. Y'all hear
done.
me?
Can you hear me, Sonny?
Nigga talking like he's single.
Sonny, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Hold up real
Oh,
quick
okay.
though. What's fucked up is that as you were saying that, I was thinking about the fact that I had to call them people to get the ball rolling, right? And the person who I'm talking to, his name is Jason, by the way. It's fucking crazy. But so Jason that I'm talking to, not Jason Reed, but Jason, them people, Jason, he's saying the same shit. Every every man I've spoken to has said the same shit. I have not come across any men anywhere who to my face, so on internet or otherwise, who has said that this is acceptable. But as it stands, this nigga has a GoFundMe or an Indiegogo for a documentary that he cut me out of because we weren't fucking anymore. And I think I think it's whack sauce in a big way. And because of all of the intricacies of what I've had to go through in order to get some justice, because clearly I can't make y'all niggas pay attention to me, not you and not Dr. Short and not anybody who's taken me seriously. But there's a lot of people who I thought were real who are not real. Again, I keep getting told, Eve, focus on your family. You know that you got a beautiful family. This nigga just shit all over my family. I'm cleaning off shit right now. So like how? And if the how doesn't include me standing up for myself and letting people know that this is where we are, and like I said, the work doesn't stop because I've not stopped working. I still do the shit that I said I've done. He's putting out a documentary and asking y'all to pay for it. Where's the work in that?
Eve, real quick.
Hold on. Let me say something real quick, Jax. 'Cause I got to drop, bro.
Go
I
ahead,
mean,
son.
I mean, dinner with my wife. I just really just want to come up here and touch on this topic real quick. Um, you know, yeah, like that's some wild shit, and all this shit coming from like the top player from the grassroots movement, like the second coming of Kevin Samuels. This who everybody go to get their relationship play. This shit ain't player. That shit ain't player, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like that's some like that's some wild shit, bro, to do a whole broadcast releasing any type of solicit or you know sexy pictures. Like that's not player, bro. When has that ever become player? You know what I'm saying? But a lot of niggas run to this nigga and get relationship. We don't even know if this nigga married. Y'all niggas be getting weird relationship advice from niggas y'all ain't never gonna see. Y'all never seen. Y'all just gonna find out at the funeral what this nigga look like. Find out at the funeral what this nigga look like. Listen, hold on, Eve. Let me get my shit off. You know what I'm saying? Because this was right. This was wrong with this shit, man. This why the movement fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Because motherfuckers is in cults. You know what I'm saying? Like we got little pocket cults, bro, and nobody really want to admit the shit. I'm cool with like a lot of different people from different hashtags or identifiers, whatever you want to call them. You know what I'm saying? Like personally, I'm cool with some ADOS niggas. I'm cool with some FBA niggas. You know what I'm saying? On real life, like we really go outside and stomp and really push reparations and lineage shit. We actually do real shit. Freedmen, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? But we got to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like what's really going on on a in the Black American grassroots movement. You know what I'm saying? And like we really got to ask the question: are Black American women really protected in this movement? Because I don't really see a lot of niggas calling none of this shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the issue. And it'd be a lot of little weird shit happening. And it be listen, man, people be hearing me in these spaces talk about my girl. People know that I'm in a relationship. Ever since I hopped on Twitter spaces, I've been talking about my girl, how much I love my girl. I got a family, this and that. Man, it's still joints as a part of this movement to still slide in my DMs and kind of flirt and do little. I never leak none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, man, a lot of these niggas game goofy, man. Like, I don't know where these niggas was raised or where they come from, but that shit corny as fuck. And I just land right there.
Uh,
Brother, all I'm going to say again to everybody, Malcolm X, uh, the sex madness. You get where I'm coming from? I'm not trying to pick. We do have a problem with personality cults and cults. I mean, and people are very unprincipled, and they come into these movements and things and prey on people who are seeking inclusion, access, purpose in life, and so forth. And people get violated. This happened to some of the women in the Panthers. This has happened to a range of groups. And we have an opportunity here to establish some rules that you don't do this to a Wazi, a warrior sister. You don't drag someone. I mean, to me, this shouldn't have even gotten here. There should have been, hey, look, some people made some calls. Hey, dude, it's over. We love you. Keep doing the work. We love her. Let them move. Instead, what I've seen is something different. Um, I've witnessed suck up the abuse, suck up the exploitation, make things look good even if they're rotten, and that's the way it is. That isn't protecting or respecting. That's not FBA. That's not code. That's confusion. If we can't, amongst a small group of people that halfway speak up, have some agreement to have some discipline, some order, some self respect, don't ever think we'll be able to demand the things that we're owed from people who hate our guts, who are organized and they're on code to deny us. And they count on stuff like this. And from a person in leadership, if you had other people and you clearly didn't want to stay engaged, what the hell purpose was this other than to be cruel? That there's there and I have to question the judgment of a person that's a leader that you want to destroy someone that served you. This is what happens in what Jim Jones and other sorts of people, Malachi York. We keep getting this kind of behavior. I'm not saying that anyone's on that level, but it starts. Okay, we do have a criminal record. Someone's beaten someone with the barbell. A woman's been beaten with the barbell. A woman has been stalked. It's a different woman. There are issues here. I'm not saying that things in the past apply to today, but when you do this, if there are two instances of unlawful treatment of women, this is now the third. There's clearly a pattern, a problem. Okay. I'm not I look, the consensual sex between two adults, that's their business. And frankly, my posture is, had anybody ever been good to me in bed, that would have been my business. That would have been in my private collection. For me to put this out is to, without that, is to shame, to destroy, to ruin, to devastate. To me, I'd like to see the same smoke when people have a breakup with one another that we have for the racists that want to exterminate us, for the racists that won't give us our motherfucking money. That's where I want to see meanness and viciousness. I want to see less smoke for other people in the diaspora than what we have for the people that had their boot on our necks. That's all I'm saying. I'm not, and I enjoy Black authority. I love Professor Black Truth. I love what people are doing, but also I know personally what it is like to serve people. Like Sister Eve, I sent you something on this broad with the Million Woman March, and you serve someone and they're screwing over you. And then what happened to me, and it was the sister, put out that I stole money from a Black women's organization. Sent that all over the country to make me look like I'm robbing people with no evidence. That stuff is hurtful. That's what COINTEL, that's what they count on. And anybody that claims to be a leader that hasn't studied how they've used these little sex things and others to hurt the Black movements, the Panthers, they use sex. All of these people, they've used that or used relationships or persons, or what are these people? The Ron Karenga's people, and the fight between the Panthers and United Slaves, and folks end up dead. We can be smarter than that. There's no excuse for there not to be discipline, more reflection, more respect. And if one will destroy a family, a mother, 5 children, an ex-lover on a humbug, what would that person do if they had a bad day with any others of us? What kind of personality drives that willingness to destroy? There's some narcissism here. I mean, and I see that throughout this celebrity culture, that Black people are so interested in access until anyone that gets a little bit of fame or notoriety, we stop holding them accountable to what is to be expected. Trust me, I'm shocked. I never imagined that this would happen. Not from someone I listen to that has so much wisdom. And so there should have been a wise counsel. There should have been some people to sit down and say, hey, let's not do this. That's why I got involved. You don't hear me trashing, saying, can't we move forward? But can't we recognize that something happened that was illegal and wrong? There was a pattern to it. And uh, the sister shouldn't be the only person that takes the loss, because it takes two to tango. And what I see happening here, which is quite interesting, in a Black male culture that tends to be what I call brother fucker and simp oriented, typically we blame the men for everything and we let women go because they get a fur burger pass. Okay. In this instance, I see hypocrisy where the woman is all at fault. And the man, even with the demonstrated pattern of some things that could be interesting, people are not using their full faculties to say, we love our brother, but the same way people love the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, but Martin Luther King, but we all have things to work on. And so I don't want to stop any documentary or project or anybody that's doing anything to uplift our people, because we're in a bad situation. We're in a bad state here and everywhere else. But we'll never get reparations from others until we begin to repair one another. And what was done wasn't repairing this sister. It wasn't repairing any of us who followed. It's torn us up. And they didn't think about their actions. They only felt their displeasure with something ending. And it's created a lot of pain that was unnecessary. I'm going to stop. In fact, I'm going to leave so y'all can talk. But look, we could love each other if we really wanted to. That's all I'm saying. We don't have to hate each other. We should be able to not only love each other, but also love our brothers and sisters in other places. And a priority that we take care of home and self. And as we do that, we can reach out to everybody else in turn. I'm going to go. God bless y'all.
Thank you for those words, Dr. Short.
So,
Go ahead, Jason. You had something.
yeah. All right, can you hear me? Hold on. You got me muted. Hold on.
No, go ahead.
Oh, you can hear me?
I can hear you. I think they can
Okay.
hear you too.
All right. Just say that was. I'm not gonna speak right now. Mrs. Reed is going to speak, so here she is.
Hey Eve, can you hear me?
Hey, Shante.
Hey girl, what's up? Hey, I'm not
Look,
I'm not listen, before we go forward, I I'm gonna talk to you like I talk to my homegirl. I'm not gonna be over here trying to sound, articulate, like a scholar or anything. I'm just gonna speak with you from the heart. Okay?
go ahead. You good?
No, but no, go ahead, go first. You was gonna say something. Go ahead, girl.
No, I just it's good to hear you. And I was joking with Jason earlier about white people because I still say that, and I can't not give credit to who I got that from because that shit is clever as fuck. And
Yeah.
yeah, nah, but go ahead.
So when
Oh,
this whole
wait. This is
situation
what
blew up,
I'm sorry.
go
This is what
ahead.
I did want to say. She's foundational Black American, right? So for anybody in the room who was
No,
like,
Eve,
they want to
Eve,
keep it in house,
Eve,
okay, does that
listen.
count? But go ahead.
Eve, listen. I'm not foundational Black American. That shit was made up two years ago. Okay, I can't be something that just existed two years ago. I'm Black. I'm Black American from Wisconsin. So
Okay, that is actually I'm glad we got there because yes, again, we don't have to agree on everything, but we are of
exactly,
the same lineage and we do agree and know that the paperwork fucking checks there, right? So call
exactly,
yourself what you want, and
yeah,
we've been cool there. But yes, I'm glad we got that
exactly,
out the way. But go ahead.
exactly. We had, I wouldn't call it issue, but when stuff really shit really hit the fan, and there was an attack on my husband because you guys wanted to just say, oh, he's a tether and dismiss him, knowing that he stood on the lines for you guys. He was out finding theaters, doing the leg work and all this, putting forth the effort. Me personally, I saw some bullshit. I stepped back because I really don't fuck with them. You don't smell right to me, but I'm gonna let my husband go off for the movement. It is what it is. And now when that tether shit popped off, of course, that's my husband. I love him. I'm going to pop off too. So that's just how I am. And then when we had our little back and forth, I just want to say I apologize for coming at you sideways, but I didn't mean that energy. Okay.
No, I've been 100% clear about your intentions and your support of your husband. And to this point, to the room, I think it's beautiful when melanated people can get together and agree on a family that makes sense with a male head of household, a woman who supports him, and beautiful melanated children. And
Yeah.
then from there, people are gonna feel how they feel. But there's real life foundational or Black American or Negro or Freedman or ADOS or whatever the fuck you want to
Very
call
full la
yourself
la. Yeah.
who get with white people, and I'm not saying that we should speak up or whatever outside of as long as we're all in the same agreement of our lineage, the ones who share the lineage are owed from this government right now in the form of direct cash payments and other things. Because, I guess people are saying that I'm only being one way. No, we're owed a bunch of shit right now, and they have the ability to do something about it if we can all get our heads out of our asses and get to work. But as it stands, people are not doing any work. They want to nitpick bullshit that I think doesn't matter. And as it stands, nobody has really given me any evidence of why this other stuff should matter more than the fact that a person that people respect have told people that matter that they shouldn't respect me. And I'm a person who is existing and doing real work in real life. So, and you're in the
Yeah,
medical field too. So y'all are both actually
exactly.
saving lives. So
Exactly.
real
And
life.
just in like the energy that you're putting forth, doing the same thing with my husband, putting forth all that energy, just for some shit like this to happen. And I just want to say, as a Black woman, as a Black mother, as a Black wife, what the fuck that nigga did to you was fucked up. And for y'all to laugh and hee ha, I saw a number of big booties on there. I'm about to go on his Patreon. Ain't shit funny. The hell's wrong with you? I got angry. I'm a woman. I'm a mother. You want to do what you want to do behind closed doors, do that. Oh, hey, it is what it is. Y'all did what y'all did. To me, Jason Black is ugly as fuck. But that, hey, we all blind at some point. We've all been blind. But because you decided to go back to your man, to your husband, he felt slighted, even though even though he didn't want a relationship, and for him to post revenge porn, that's horrible. That's a monster. And it ain't no, well, we gotta see what he did pretty much good 80% of the time. So we gotta give him credit. No, motherfuckers, y'all wasn't there. He talked to my husband behind closed doors. Guess what? When you talk to my husband behind closed doors, motherfucker, I'm in the room because I'm his wife. So I heard everything. I heard the fuck shit he was talking about Tariq. All that backhanded shit. Y'all believe him? When he out here in this persona, that's y'all problem. He has a deep voice. You think he's 6'2". The bitch is 2'6". But you telling
I was so shocked. I'm not gonna
he's a
lie.
little
I was extremely
he's a little
shocked to see who
motherfucker.
he was. But go ahead.
Little ass bitch. He a little motherfucker. And y'all, because he built this persona, and that's the problem with social media. You could be anyone you want to be. He built this persona.
Nah, call it out. It's some cult shit. Real talk. It's some
But
cult
that's what it
shit.
is. They fell in love with the persona. I'm a troll. I could be a troll somewhere else. I'm a man on one of my troll accounts. Y'all don't know who the fuck I am. I can say anything I want, and y'all believe it. Y'all believe him. I'm gonna be honest. Y'all love sugar. Y'all love to be all sugar holy and all that bullshit. The documentary 8 a.m. He filmed that shit like 5 years ago. That shit was like 5 years ago. Some of the interviews, I'm sorry, some of the interviews were like 5 years ago. He took a collection of old ass interviews to put it out there so y'all could drop 200K. For what? It's already done. And if he's gonna market it, y'all his core audience. So y'all know the documentary's out of there. The documentary is coming out. You already got the marketing, and y'all spending $40 on a fucking DVD. Who got DVDs? Am I the crazy one? Because I'm always the crazy one in the room. Oh, that's just Jason Reed's crazy wife. No, I see what's going on behind closed doors, and y'all need to understand. He is fake. It's fake. He ain't a man. Obviously, he's a narcissist. Obviously, he's an abusive person. He's tricking y'all and manipulating y'all into thinking that you don't need a woman. Some closeted gay, anyways, giving you all these unrealistic expectations, all the while he's back in the back room flying women out, paying for this, paying for that, with women who has tattoos, women who has children out of wedlock, buying shoes, buying clothes with y'all money, dummy. He telling you not to date the single mother that works at Winn Dixie. The one that treats you nice and be all nice to you. He telling you not to date her. Give me your money, brothers. You giving him your money. He tricking it off at the bitch at the strip club. The fuck wrong with y'all? And Eve is a victim. And y'all think his shit is funny. Well, her husband's non-FBA. What the fuck that got to do with life? Nigga, you broke too. I'm not. I'm a two-parent household. 2 incomes. We good over here. Where y'all at? I'm sorry, Eve. I'm sorry.
Not look, and to anybody's issue with you, it's always been because it's all fire all the time. And to my point about anybody that I've ever fucked with or rocked with or anything, I can appreciate consistency. I just want people around me to be who they say they are. That's it, you know? And if we don't agree on things, then we're not going to agree on things. And if we do agree on things, I hope it's the thing that matters to me, you know, like
Exactly.
reparations and, you know, our children not having to deal with people who want to sexualize them and, you know, a bunch of, you know, normal stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Dr. Short just had a he just had a program about bring back white Jesus. And I know I know that that sounds crazy, but think about it. Like,
There needs to be
niggas
some shame.
really need white Jesus to act right. Is that where we are? Like, we
Yes.
found out, we woke up and
Yes.
Jesus is black, and now niggas just act however the fuck they want to act.
Becomes when you woke and you overstand and you mayat and you tut and all this bullshit, that's when the predators come, selling you sovereign citizenship, selling you information. I saw we supported initially the 7 a.m., not 7:30. Who the hell said that? Don't even I've been rocking 15. You didn't even know the DVD name, dummy. 7 a.m. My son, he's in the picture, like the end credits. That's my son. We rocked with him until I peeped something that didn't sound right when he started with this relationship advice. How a man gonna give you relationship advice when he ain't in a relationship? That's when I started questioning him. He got mad. So what? I'm grown. I don't fear no little man, especially if you're 5'2". My 14-year-old could beat his ass, and that's just being real. So there is no intimidation factor. Y'all need to stop being intimidated by a fake persona. I remember he thought he was somebody was talking about, oh, Jason Black summoning you. Summon? Who the fuck says that? Is he your ruler? Think about what y'all doing, the way y'all act, the way y'all talk. I hold him in high regard. Why? Homie, 1 + 1 is 2. I gave you some knowledge. Now give me 200K. And I could teach you 1 + 1 is 3 now. That's knowledge, right? Well, I don't know if it's right, but hey, give me some money and call me high priestess, and I'm about to sell you some yoni pearls.
That's real though. And the cult of personality is it's deep. And I think that people should know who they're dealing with because of the intricacies that could be involved. Now, again, to a point that I made earlier, Professor Black Truth is getting all sorts of strays inside of this
Shit.
because he is
Have you
another
seen his
faceless
face?
person.
Exactly. You show me your face. Give me a newspaper picture with the newspaper next to your face with today's date on it. Show me
But
that, and then I'll listen and
Shante,
I'll
look,
respect
look,
you.
look. For this point, and to my only point, and I think that
Mhm.
everybody should do what they feel is best. If you've ever had an moment, then you need to follow your moment. I've never had that with Professor Black Truth. And when I talked to Judge Joe Brown, who has met them both, and he said, you know, that they're not, because at first everybody's trying to say that they're the same person, right?
No,
So
they're not.
now we've got that out the way.
Yeah, they're
And
not.
for that, I've hosted programs with Professor Black Truth. For what it's worth, everything that he's said, I don't have I have zero issue with. And I have zero issue with because it seems like he promotes the family. It seems like he wants us to get what's owed to us. And outside of that, I don't know why we have all of these conversations about what we agree on, because at the end of the day, that's what we need to be doing. So,
I agree. I understand. And to my point of view, this is my perspective. Like I said, I don't. We used to say people have that that moment when Tariq starts saying that FBA stuff and start chatting shit and making slight remarks. That's when Jeremy in his 2-in-1 bedroom, his 2-in-1 house with his mama, started picking up the same talking points. Professor Black Truth co-signed that. But I don't.
I'm gonna have to take responsibility there, and I'm not backing down here. You know, Shantae, I think that
Yeah.
at the time, I thought that creating a new name might be something that we could all conglomerate around.
Mhm.
However, inside of that, being a person who um, has been to these meetings, who has spoken at the OMB, you know, with regards to classifying ourselves. Black American works just fucking fine.
It.
Everybody
Yeah.
else needs to say who they are. And from
Exactly.
there, I don't know what the problem is, because it seemed like before now everybody else was saying who they were. And now we just need to get everybody else out the paint. And I think we could do that if we were focused. But
And
as
more
it stands, you know,
respectable.
people gonna, for what it's worth, really truly, at the end of the day, Shantae, real talk, the government knows who we are.
Yeah.
If we just said all, if all black people, all melanated people in the country said that we need to get what's owed for the people who are descended from here, then they could cut a check the same way they did the fucking stimmy, and we would
Yeah.
all have a fucking check in the damn bank,
And
or
I
it'd be
agree with
on
that.
their way to you. Like, I feel like a lot of this shit is complex for no reason
Yeah.
outside of people just want to be contrarian. So for what it's worth,
True.
Black
True.
Americans already out there, you
Yeah.
know. And
And I
uh,
agree.
so, but if we in a, so here's the thing, like, if you come across a nigga who is saying that they're freedmen, ADOS, Black
I don't hold
American,
that against
FBA.
them.
No, all I'm saying is that you know that that's the lineage. Period. Like, whatever they call themselves, you know that that's not a Jamaican. You know it's not a Haitian. You know it's not a Nigerian. You know it's a nigga who's just like you,
Yeah.
owed
A regular
reparations,
black
and
guy.
has an
Yeah.
issue. And
Exactly.
like, that's
And
where I
that's
have
where we need to.
always
Yeah.
been. And
And that's where we need to be and keep it at. But when it comes to the now, if I don't agree with you, so I'm just going to start bashing you type stuff. Like when they were trying to play, like if they don't agree with my husband or anyone who's not Black American, oh, you're tethered, you're ignorant, you're dumb, go back to your country, go back to that. That's when the momentum stops. And now you're a representation of your FBA group. Like, okay, this is what you do. This is your this what y'all do? Is this your king? This your king? Cause
look,
y'all
and
y'all
this is
girl, he
why
was your king too, girl, right?
this is why the nuances, like, to me, once I come across a nigga who is not saying that they are any other flag that it's not an American born flag, I don't give a shit what you call yourself. I know that you are hurt, that you are confused, and you are owed a fucking debt.
Yeah,
And
we
if we
are.
could get to damn clarity, if we got what was owed to us. So call yourself whatever the fuck you want, because at the end of the day, they know who we are.
Yeah,
And I think if people could be like that, then we wouldn't have so many of these inter situation. Like, it
it will
would be
be it's
fine, really.
exactly, and it's wasting a lot of space. But like I said, back to the original topic of how my sis is a victim, and I don't. She doesn't need to prove every little detail to you little sick pervs, because you guys shared it. Your people shared it. Your people, your men, Black men. Are they Black men? I don't know. But you did something. You screenshot it and you put it
Oh,
on
you know
Twitter.
what? I was disappointed when Black Voltron called up live, and he didn't stand like a dude that I thought was this dude who's been fighting this fight for his daughter, you know, for custody. Like, have you heard Black Voltron's story?
No, I'm out the loop, girl. I don't mess with
No, I
y'all.
mean, like, this is like some old shit, you know. So, he'd been on the platform, and
Hmm.
he'd spoken up or whatever, and um, I really felt for him because I know that bitches are crazy, right? And I know
Yeah.
that
Okay.
sometimes the most happens, and then the dude gets slighted like fuck. The
Yeah.
systems do not work. I'm trying to tell y'all, calling the people to try to enact some justice on this nigga who violated me
Yeah.
really was a fucking I had a very real issue with it because I
Hmm.
don't think that the system treats us fairly. But if y'all
Yeah.
niggas is still gonna pay attention to him, then what the fuck am I supposed to do? Because
You.
my real life is
Yeah.
being affected, and I
Because
think that it
yeah.
should,
Yeah.
So
He should pay. He should pay the price. He needs to go back to jail because he was arrested before. Okay, him and his Super Saiyan hairline. Yes, he was arrested before because he's an abuser. He's a manipulator. Got y'all money. That's what he
that's
does.
that's uh he got my money too. And look,
Yeah.
to a point that I had
What
been making a little while
girl,
ago,
girl,
not
10 years
today.
ago, 10 years ago, he got a strong 200 out of us.
Look, I understand the cult of personality deeper than people would like to give me credit, but I'm just trying to be transparent about what is going on. And as the documentary that I've been working on for 2 years
Yeah.
has dropped a trailer, and the interview, one of the interviews that I set up and basically blew up my whole personal life about, that's not in the trailer anymore. And then from there, it's like I, me, and not that I ever thought that I would get this big public, gratitude or appreciation or anything, but you shit on me in January, and then all of the work that I did that you're telling everybody was all you. A lot of that shit wouldn't have happened if it weren't for me. So I call cap, and then I want the paperwork to be lined up. Now
Yeah.
you can put your bank account up against mine and be like, you got more money than me. Okay,
So
it's a lot more people who got more money than you. But when we talked about the money, I got 5 kids, I got a mortgage, you weren't really trying to do all of that. And I accepted that shit and moved on, Jeremy. And then you violated me because I got back with my dude. Fuck you
why couldn't
and
you move on? Ask
everybody who
why couldn't he
agreed
have
with
moved
them.
on? Why couldn't you have moved on? If she's such the bastard baby maker and she got 5 kids and rah 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 rah, rah I'm a short nigga, silently let her move on. Have her be somebody else's burden. No, you didn't like that because you didn't have control. You tried to control her financially, just like you trying to control everybody else financially. Give me your money for legal fees.
No, because that's what it is right now. Like, I really feel like maybe he knows that there's some uh consequences for his actions, and now y'all are about to foot
It,
this nigga's
it
legal
says
bill.
it says it on the bottom of the crowdfunding that it will
That
cover for promotion and legal fees, by the way.
it's on the. Are you
Yes,
serious?
yes, read.
Go to the Indiegogo, read what the funds are for. He says for
Whoa.
promotion, blah blah blah, and legal.
So he told y'all straight up, and y'all didn't ask no questions. And I
No,
call
because
cap
that's
on anybody who says
oh
paperwork check.
It
exactly.
says legal fees on it.
It says
Um,
legal. What legal fees do you need when you already created the documentary? You
Yeah,
already got the
look, the
interview.
interviews are done, y'all. All
What
of these
legal
interviews
fees?
were either done 5 years ago or happened in the last 2 years because of assistance that was provided by me that y'all would never know
Missing.
about if this nigga never
Exactly.
violated me. So,
Exactly.
but let before you go, Dr. Short, FBA Antonio, we talked about a little bit of this, and I know that this kind of took you aback because of everything that we've been talking about anyway. So I want to go ahead and get your thoughts, and then we're gonna get to well, we'll see what your thoughts are.
Okay. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay. Now I am pulling up to my site right now, and I'm about to get out. I'm at work. Um,
Where you work?
I'm an owner operator,
Oh,
but I
okay.
gotta. So Eve, since you just informed me about what was happening because I ain't been on Twitter. I didn't know what was going on. But you had just said that we wouldn't have never known if this didn't happen to you. That he had already had the documentary recorded. So telling us now because I guess that you're hurt by his actions. Well, I'm not
Are you kidding me?
diminishing. Listen,
All right, I'm a
She muted me. Girl,
yeah, no, yeah, I muted everybody. It's not just you. It's not just you. Um, Here's the thing. I don't know where you're about to go, and I know you said you're about to go soon. So let's just be clear. Um, the way that documentaries work, the interviews happen, and then there's an editing time, and then from there, you put it out, and you could put it out for free, or you could put it out for pay. It's up to you. I don't necessarily think that people shouldn't get paid for the work that they've done to do or disseminate information. That's not my problem here. My problem here is that I'm having a very real time getting on with my actual life because this nigga leaked my private pictures that were sent consensually and agreeably and asked for, and a whole bunch of shit that I never expected to have to say out loud because y'all think that this person is this one person and he's really this whole other person. And because nobody gives a damn about the messenger because it's about the message, now you need to actually look at the message. What is he actually talking about, Antonio? I know you've listened to the business before. And is that some shit that we need to be talking about? Because I believe personally, if that's the type of dude you want to be, you should be that, honestly. But if honestly you can't get there honestly and you have to lie about everything, then people should know that this is where they're going, because when it doesn't work for them and then they're continuing to give their money to this thing that's supposed to be working, they start thinking something's wrong with them. That's what doctors do. They feed you a fucking, you need to come here every year to get a checkup because you don't know what's wrong with you. Bullshit. You live with you every day. Why the fuck don't you know what's wrong with you? You don't, because you've given all this trust to people that you believe are out here to do the right thing. And as we've learned, as people who've been traumatized and victimized and fucked with because of who we are and what we're owed, it's, to me, uh, disappointing that people still are on this thinking that I'm being selfish or whatever energy that you were about to give to the topic at hand. And not that you're not allowed, but I'd really like people to think about what I'm saying, why I would be saying it. And then again, I'm out here doing the work. I go to pull ups. I've been to pull ups. I've been to rallies. I have gone to meetings. I have put up billboards. I haven't done a documentary yet because I'm not there yet, but maybe if this nigga hadn't leaked my shit, I would be well on my way to that. Who knows? As it stands, people are saying that the work is what matters. What meetings, rallies, pull ups has Jeremy Black gone to or done? And you'll say, oh, he went to DC. Bullshit. Those were my pictures and other people's pictures. Oh, he pulled up in South Carolina. Bullshit. That was other people. Oh, he pulled up on Rolly. Okay, he did that, but that was because I told him that that was a bad look if you don't. Like, I I never expected to have to tell people things on some ABC level, but if that's what it takes for people to wake up, it's 8 a.m.
can I speak? Am I muted?
No, you're not muted, but
I'm gonna let
I
Antonio speak, but because
yeah.
I'm like, when he say that word, because you're hurt, you minimalize my sister.
man. All right.
No,
Well,
don't all
can I
right
speak?
me. Don't all right me
Man,
right
listen, I
quick.
ain't about
You
to be arguing
minimalize
with you,
her,
bro.
okay?
I'm not about to be arguing with you. Come on now. If you
Let's just let Antonio go because he did say he was at work. So he came. I do want him to talk because he is a person who's like me. We listen to the damn business, and the shit is, the math ain't mathin'. Like, and I need people to understand that this is not me scorned. I'm not fucking bitter outside of, I'm trying to get back to my life, which essentially should have happened in November when I ended the shit. But it's fucking It's about to be March. I'm
Damn.
I'm dealing with this because of him. doing what he did. So go ahead, Antonio, because like I said, all the caveat. Go
Now
ahead.
look, now look. I don't know if this mattered to whoever that is, the dude's wife on the phone, but we met in person. I ain't never disrespected you. You know what I'm saying? I just found out about this today. So my opinion is where it is. I'm asking questions publicly because we having a public conversation.
I understood that.
So,
That's why I let you up. Go ahead.
so since we public with it, do you mind if I ask a question? You know what? Man, you know what? I think I'm gonna do most of my chopping up with you if you don't mind. I don't want to say shit because I don't know how deep and far y'all are into the conversation before I start inquiring on shit. Because I might throw
That's
some
cool.
shit.
I've been
So
transparent.
I'm gonna go ahead and you
It's cool.
transparent, so
I've
I
been
can ask you here.
transparent about this entire situation, and for what it's worth, there's a whole 4 hours of me being transparent on my program on that's on my platform on YouTube at Just Eve. You could find me there, and before you ask any questions that I've already answered, because I swear to God, y'all, not you, but a lot of people who have
Okay.
actually met me are asking me questions that I'm like, damn, you want to see my ass too? Is that where we are
Nah,
at?
nah, nothing like that. Nah,
And
nah,
I'm not saying that that was you, but that's kind of where some of this shit ends up going. And I have a very nice ass. I've been working on it
okay.
for about a year almost in June, and I've I'm so embarrassed that it wasn't something that I showed y'all, and that's kind of where the math ain't mathing again. This is Mr. Black Empowerment, and y'all about to pay $200,000 for a documentary that's already been shot. Like, look, here's my point about
That's
Tariq.
what I was saying.
Here's
Nah,
my
that's
point
what I
about
was
Tariq.
saying.
Tariq,
Go ahead.
Tariq is on some all or nothing shit. Everybody gets their money back if he does not make his fucking goal, and I have appreciated that from day one. But with Jeremy's ass, he is taking y'all's money regardless.
But we wouldn't have known that if the pictures didn't get leaked. So why is it a
But that's
problem
the
now?
thing. If the pictures hadn't got leaked, exactly.
You would
And
have
it's
kept it
not
a
even that
secret.
they
So
got
how we
leaked.
gonna be mad at him now?
No, it's not that I've been mad at him now. This You're just
No,
finding out
that's not
about
what
it.
I'm saying. If had the pictures never got leaked, we wouldn't have known all this shameful shit that he on. As far as him, we wouldn't have known how you
Right,
felt,
right, right.
baby.
Okay, that's an excellent point. Excellent
So
point.
why
Let's go
would we
there.
be
Let's
upset
go there.
now?
To me, and this is my own personal feelings about
With
people.
all due respect, yeah, go ahead.
No, I understand, and this is a question that I've answered before, but because this is new for you and maybe to the new people who are in the room, I will answer it. I personally, Eve, feels like we are people. People do people shit, and sometimes it's not the right shit, and sometimes we get in trouble, and sometimes the system fucks us. So inside of all of that, I understand that you might have gone through some shit, done some shit, whatever. If you've done the work, if you're doing the work and you didn't fuck no kids, then I'm pretty much cool with whatever the fuck you've done. He harmed me specifically. Like, so at this point, I feel like people are telling me to just eat it because of the work that's been done. And if that's the case, I'm asking for the fucking paperwork because that's what he talks about. If y'all actually apply the things that he talks about, 70% of the people who are listening to him would be in a better situation, which is what I talked to Jason Reed about earlier. This is an issue that I've had with the people who listen to him. Literally, I listened to what he fucking said and did it. And from what it's worth, like, I got a nice ass, and my bank account doesn't look as bad as it looked because I've made certain decisions based off of what I've learned being around him. Now, if that's what people need, cool. However, this person is also telling people that they shouldn't have families. And I don't know if that's the move when we're trying to tackle white supremacy. Really, I have to start thinking about what it is that I'm supporting and then make a decision on if I can separate different messages from one messenger. Like, and that's where people are going. They're like, well, I can, he's got good news. Okay, he's got good news, but he's out here fucking people he told y'all that y'all shouldn't fuck with. So is he telling you not to fuck with a single mom with tattoos and kids because he wants them all to himself? That's a question people should really
That's the
ask.
reason. I tell you why. From our standpoint,
I'll be right back, but thank you.
when we found out that he was releasing the documentary, my husband and I, we laughed. Like, are you kidding me? This is old footage from like 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. If my husband were to tell you guys, hey, this is old footage, this is old, what would have been the responses? You're tether. Oh, so you give the immigrant no interruption, stuff like that. So you don't want, some of you guys don't want to know the truth. You just want to live in
But
la
look,
la land.
Shantae, to this point, I, again, I think that the way that he presents information when it comes to what we need to do as a people is are things that are actionable items that people could really do
I
if they
agree.
really were people. But as it stands, it's a bunch of sheep giving their money to a person who
Yeah,
doesn't actually do the things that he's saying. How do I
I
know?
agree.
I've been there. I've
Yeah,
seen it in real life and I questioned it when it didn't work out. It's like, all right, cool. You go your way. I'm gonna go my way. But when I go my way, now I get violated.
yes.
I call bullshit on all of that.
That's
That's not
control.
black empowerment.
It's not.
That's not reparations. That's because again, I'm one of 4 people in this fucking state speaking up for us. So if you nix me out the paint, now it's only 3 people. That sounds like some op shit. But
Yeah.
y'all don't want to go there. And
No.
we really could based off of what I fucking know. But because
Mhm.
I'm not messy, and I don't think that things need to be public like that. I'm being very reserved with what I've said in these spaces for y'all's asses.
Sister
We
Eve
don't need.
Go ahead,
We
Dr.
don't need to
Short.
do that.
and Mrs. Reed, thank you, Mrs. Reed, for the energy that you're bringing to this space. God bless the, you appreciate it. I want to do a shout out to Sister Jade Linus Crown that's here. And I want to say this. There's something that is truly uh, offending me as a person that's had to help people through rapes and other things, right? That I'm hearing a serious empathy deficit from many people. And we're not talking about vilifying the man, we're talking about simply hearing out the woman. We didn't even say take sides with the woman, just hear. And I'm not seeing a lot of people be even in how they're listening. I hear people bringing personal agendas or personal hurt and interpreting what's being said, no matter how transparent the sister's trying to be. They're hearing from their own personal experience, which isn't the way if you've done any counseling. At one point, I had a certificate in counseling. If you're a true counselor, you hear. You let the person tell the story. Now, there are contradictions, things like that, then you can attack the story.
And
But
she
if you
ride for y'all so hard. She
keep
does.
the same story, even when you go to the police and the story's consistent,
Hmm.
it it could even be a lie, but what will go in court is that it's consistent, that it doesn't change. We see inconsistency in the other camp, and people are not saying, hey, wait a minute. We see this, and we see something over here that is not consistent.
Dr. Randy, I have a question.
I'm listening.
Do you think some of the men suffer from that good old boy syndrome?
I, you, you know what? I don't think it's little boy
No, no,
syndrome.
I didn't say. I said good old boys. Like, the good old boys.
But you know what? I'm going to tell you what I call it. I call it brother fucker syndrome.
Okay, let me
Okay,
mute.
we have a brother fucker culture. We have a culture of where we celebrate pimping, and instead of defeating the people who've oppressed us for hundreds of years, our currency and what we do is we fuck over our women, and we also fuck over each other as men.
Okay.
It's pathetic. It's unacceptable. I don't hate um, sisters, and I don't hate brothers. I can know what I dislike about things, but I'm not mad at the fact that we exist. My focus is on fixing up what we can fix amongst ourselves and being in a position to resist the attack of others. Do you follow what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
what I see happening, Miss Reed, is with this brotherfucker culture. Not only is it it's anti-male, it's anti-baby, it's basically
Genocide.
yeah, but it's an obsession. I've got a
Yeah.
big dick, I can fight. All these things. I mean, I'm not knocking people who have a big dick just to point at me, but what does that really mean if we're not free? If we don't control the commanding heights of economy or culture, all of this is some shallow shit of I'm powerless, I feel down and out. And instead of us banding together, we pick stupid shit to feel good about. Insignificant, like all the women I've run through, all this and that, and not substantive things like how many factories do I own? How many businesses? How many people do I employ? How many, right? The things that really matter because a lot of black men need to be honest. We've been crushed and defeated by people who've had their boot on us. And the
Well, Dr.
only way we're going to get,
Randy, that's boring. Don't bore me with that. And me having to build an entire infrastructure is too much work. I'd rather say bastard baby maker.
yes, but that's what I'm saying. And that's the brother fuck. That's what I'm saying. And so what happened is that when she came forward with what happened to her, it fucked with people's brother fucker high
Mm-hmm.
that they had
Yes.
off of a baller who's running a bunch of bitches. That's what it comes down to. Right or wrong, I felt good about all the stuff he's doing. The same thing happened with Elijah Muhammad, the Nation of Islam. Malcolm messed with the high the old man got getting his jollies off of little girls.
Mm-hmm.
Folks are ready to kill people and slaughter folks. And I don't hate the messenger. He's in my family, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate Malcolm. More than likely, he's in my family too. We are closely related as people, right?
Yes.
And but that's what's happening. And instead of us, at least I'll admit, I need Sister Eve. I need Jason. But we gotta have some respect for one another. Your husband has up that he's a maroon. My family were maroons in the dismal swamp. People had to have a code and agreement of how they're going to treat each other to withstand everybody being against us.
Mm-hmm.
It's weak to pimp and be the stripper clubs and make pornos and drag our women or drag one another
Yeah.
or rape boys. When are we going to stop exterminating each other and turn on the people that have done this to us? Be real men. And I'm no tough guy. Since I'm no tough person, I can't break people's jaws and jump out of flying buildings. I'm at least going to be decent towards my brothers and sisters. You know, blessed is the peacemakers, but you don't have peace if you make war on women. And my concern is that there are 5 black babies, and nobody said a goddamn thing about the 5 children caught up in this. We say children are the future. Well, damn it, I'm not hearing any empathy for these babies.
Shantae, you there?
I'm here. No,
Yeah.
I completely agree. Like I said, as a mom, as a black mom, when Jason told me what happened to you, Jason was like, Eve, she inboxed me the other day apologizing, and I'm like, oh, that's good for her. Anyways, what's for dinner? So that's how I carry on my life today.
And just to be clear, apologizing because Jason Reed warned me that people were not who they said they were, and
Hmm.
he wasn't messy about it.
No, he
He
wasn't.
let me come to this information on my own, which, for what
Hmm.
it's worth, that's the type of person I am. I, to a fucking fault, need to scrape my knee before learning not to do whatever it was that caused me to, do
To
that.
be fine.
And I think that people are like
Nothing
that,
but
and
my
it's
blessing.
okay. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think that there's anything wrong with understanding that niggas is gonna do shit sometimes.
But not
And
like this, Eve.
at
Not
right,
like this. This is
this part,
or
this
this is
this is what I
illegal.
can't
This
understand.
this is
Um,
against the law. And when he
and
told me that, like I said, when he told me that today, like, yeah, yo, this is what Jason Black did to Eve, and I'm like, or Jeremy did to Eve. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? How dare he? Me as a black mom, mother, wife, immediately I was angry and concerned. So there's no, okay, well we had a beef back in the day, so I don't care. No, no, no. This is serious.
and that's my point about not having to agree with everybody about everything. I think that there's levels to what we agree to. And here's a point that we keep forgetting. A lot of y'all don't like to read, which is why we're in the situation we're in right now. You've got a person who has a very good kayfabe going on with this intelligent. I'm not saying he's not intelligent, but he's studied how to talk. He's told y'all he's studied how to talk. If y'all heard him talk like how a person from
He was a car
Shreveport might
salesman.
talk, you would be like, that's not the same person, but it is. I've seen it in real life.
Hmm.
A
From
used
there,
car person,
what'd you say?
a used car dealer.
Oh, my bad. Oops, my bad. See how y'all pimping y'all with them high interest rates on a used car? Mm.
But it's like, to me, none of this had to go anywhere more than, I was sad about how things ended, but I moved on, and I think that as adults, we should do that. If the pattern is that when you don't get your way, you get to shit on everybody, and then we start looking at who gets shit on, y'all need to start asking questions. Really, truly listen to what this nigga has said and then do it, because if you do, you'll do what I did. At the end of the day, which is what Antonio, I guess, was alluding to. At the end of the day, once I found out that this person was this person, did I continue whatever it was that was going on, or like why now, all this stuff. And here's the thing.
Because you believed
Uh
in it.
Jeremy Lloyd Smith, this picture that everybody had seen, I I had been told by people who quote unquote seen him that that wasn't him. And from there, I never thought about that picture ever again. Now, when I actually met him in real life, that's when some sort of disconnect happens, because I'm like, all right, I think this is you, but all right, do you beat bitches with barbells? All right,
Right.
you're not trying to hurt me like that. Like, you're not harming me physically. Okay, so maybe that was some shit you did in the past and you've learned from it, and that's why you go so hard for black people, right?
Yeah,
But
girl, I saw him in Chicago. When I saw him in Chicago, he was putting everybody in the back room and all that, and he didn't want me back there. He made the comment, "Well, this is not a family thing." I went back there. I saw his little ass. I'm like, "This is him in a big ass, ill-fitting suit, jiggling a bunch of keys like a janitor, nervous, anxious, social anxiety,
Well,
big-headed ass."
could you call that the nigger of Oz?
It was, oh, Dr. Randy, it was. I was like, "Who's this little ass guy?" I asked him, it was to the point I asked him, "Are you okay?" He's just sitting there nervously. But he big and bad online and want to do some fucked up shit to my sis Eve. But y'all, ooh, I swear. But when he summoned y'all FBAs, here y'all running.
And I mean, we talked about that earlier. Like, I very much believe that we should be drawing a line in the sand. But how we get there, to me, Eve, once I start hearing all these other terms and shit, all right, that nigga is hurt like me and is owed a fucking debt. And from there, you call yourself what the fuck you want. They know who we are. We can write whatever the fuck. They're gonna do what I just did and say, yeah, those are them other niggas that we've been trying to get rid of since 1865, and here they are with their fucking claim. And
Mm-hmm.
oh
Sister,
shit, there are some other niggas not from here who also support the claim. And when they see that, people are willing to do what's necessary, that's when shit will change. There's an easy way and an easier way, and people want to go to the left, which is not the easy or easier way. It's some fucked up shit where I have to uh, pillow talk to niggas online that I've actually met in person, and to the point of meeting people you've never met this other nigga in person. And I want the paperwork on. I want to line it up. Let's line it up
Sister,
because shit ain't adding up.
Sister Eve,
Go ahead, Dr. Short.
say one thing and I'll disappear again. To Mrs. Reed,
Yes.
Mr. Reed, and to everybody else. Whereas other people have been one way, I keep saying one term, and I've been using it everywhere. And I use the term reciprocal Pan Africanism.
Mhm.
If there's reciprocity, then we're together. But if there's not reciprocity, we're still similar, but we're not together. When people practice reciprocal Pan Africanism, they're my brother and my sister, not just by blood and other things, but we are on code internationally and everywhere else. And I want to say to Mr. Reed, thank you for being a reciprocal Pan Africanist. It's important. And that's one thing I do not like that I see out here is you go from one extreme of this unrequited bullshit Pan Africanism, which doesn't work, and yet there hasn't been a desire for there to be reciprocal Pan Africanism where we can work it out with everybody respecting particularities, differences, and where we can have intersectionality, joint actions, or if not, respect for exclusive issues. Um, that could be. It's something that is a part of this that a lot of these movements are driving horizontal hatreds that don't need to be. We should be on guard as everybody's on guard. The locks on my door are not for people in the diaspora, although there's someone from the diaspora that would probably break in the house if it was open. Most of the people who would rob or shoot me are my own. Let's be honest. Not that I don't love my own. And therefore, part of what fuels a whole lot of this clannishness is these creations of pockets where people hate the other. In this instance, it's a hatred of the sister that's disclosed some stuff. Do you see what I'm saying? These cultic type things operate with this ability to get people to hate, not to love, not to coalesce, not to build bridges, but to build fiefdoms, psycho emotional, kleptocratic fiefdoms for people to milk off the weaklings that surround them. And that's part of why our sister is being lynched, porno lynched, for
Exactly.
busting up the thing. And, this hurts me because I don't want a problem with people's zombies and their stooges and their worshippers. I don't want a problem. I don't want to criticize people, but damn it, there are 5 children. I support families. Without a family, you don't have a nation.
True.
What the hell are reparations good for if there's no family? I mean, wait a second. Who the hell is against the existence of a family other than a white supremacist? Right? Who's
Exactly.
against family? Damn it. I wish I did have a family. I mean, you know what? I'm going to take as much horny goat weed and I'm going to go to Africa. I'm going to find somebody. I'm going to have some kind of family. I'm an old. I still want one. How dare people be against the family? And nobody sees that this is an anti-family move. It's deeper than love gone bad. This is damn the black family, damn the babies. What the hell is all of this for if it's not a better future for the new generations? How is this not convicting the shit out of everybody listening that there were 5 children in tow? If you didn't want to be the father of them, then shut the fuck down.
Exactly. Right. Shit. She gave you out. She ain't get pregnant. She ain't trap you. Oh, you don't want to be with me no more. Let me do this. What?
No, that's real. And to the point of the minis that are involved, I've heard that, if you say something, it's just going to hurt the movement. And what about, everything that you've been doing? I say that I've been transparent about people peopling. And I don't know how y'all rear your children, but I'm an accountable parent. I apologize when I'm wrong. I don't necessarily, have them around for things that they shouldn't be around for. But as it stands, nobody's perfect. And this pedestal that you have this nigga on is crazy when it comes down to what is actually going on in the real world. And as it stands, I would be very well on my way with my actual life if I didn't have people interrupting my actual life with this internet bullshit. And then to find out that something that I slaved on really, is about to get crowdfunded to the tune of $200,000. And in the fine print, it says legal fees on some shit where maybe he's having second thoughts about exposing me to y'all. And now he thinks that he might have some shit going on. Well, I think that's a good fucking thought because what you did was illegal, nigga. Like,
I think you
you're
need to file a
so
civil suit.
intelligent,
I
right?
think you need to file a civil suit for about 200K right quick, sis.
And we need to have an injunction.
Right.
Okay. We need to see, this is what's getting me. Some people only care about money. All this talk about the people, the all this, and then it breaks down certain people's only business. It's never people. I genuinely need and like money, but people come first for me, which is probably why I'm a broke ass nigga. But I love
But you
my,
got money for Honey Girl weed, Dr. Randy.
well, yeah, I have just one bottle. You can send me a cash app. I'm teasing. Look, we 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 have to have some principles that people matter. To me, it's unconscionable because I've been where Eve is in a different way. I've worked with folks and then had them dog you, and you're like, "Oh my god!" And then if you speak up, it will hurt the movement. So basically, like I said, the lady that
Mhm.
organized the Million Woman March accused me of stealing from the organization, and I didn't want the march to fail. So I just didn't say anything about being accused of stealing thousands and thousands of dollars from these sisters. But it was humiliating. It was vile. And you walk around with people thinking, and if I'd said something, oh, well, you don't want women to have rights and stuff. Look, why did you have to destroy me for the hell of it? Other than there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
You get where I'm coming? I've been there in a different way. This person I worked for years. I didn't do anything but serve them. And then I told two or three people, I kept it quiet. This time I'm not supporting the damn march. You saw I put that shit on blast. Cause me and homie gonna fight.
Mm.
You owe me an apology. And your movement should be bringing men and women together instead of constantly I'm calling it the million man hating woman farce. Instead of stirring up all this hatred between black men and black women, why not some damn unity? We got it on the female side, but you know what? We men, if we really want things to change, we need to lead by example. And the example set here, it's unacceptable. It's completely, I just can't accept it. I'm angry with everybody that needs all this evidence and shit to see that something's wrong here. I mean, if the mindset of many of the people I've heard in the many of these conversations Eve, you've had, if this is the moral mindset of a lot of black men, shit, we were better off enslaved, understanding right and wrong. Don't read, don't think, don't want to listen, and in fact, forgive me, misread. The guys think like they're single mamas. It's all emotion and how they feel. They lay out
Exactly.
the facts. They lay out the facts, and they have an emotional feel. It's just like the broad accusing me, but she said you stole all this money from us. You stole $7,000 from us, and I said, sister, I'll let you look at my report. And she said, but still, in other words, nope. I've decided to be angry. I'm going to punish you. It's what I say it is. What's the difference between that and I'm white and I say so? for us to do this to one another.
Hmm.
It's bullshit, people. Why the hell does she have to keep explaining this? And Sister Eve, if you want a documentary, Chef C's already said he's down. You need to do a documentary, and we need to have a documentary where we talk about how we need to treat each other moving forward for reparations. I don't like hearing about someone being body slammed in a hotel room and choked. Hint, hint.
Wow.
What the hell is that? And then if anyone talks about it, it's going to hurt the movement. Would you like your mama or sister, someone choked and body slammed? And if they they complain they're a bad person? This is the kind of shit that goes on. I've heard stories of folks getting beaten and pimped. I've seen this stuff. I've seen the frats do it. I've seen this shit in church of people messing over people who are there. Folks getting raped in church offices. Okay? One of my cousin's mama, I think, got raped in the church office of the Church of God in Christ. I'm just telling you.
Mm.
That Greenleaf shit, it's real. It happened to someone in my family where the bishop took some pussy right there in the house of God. And everybody tipped into why are we so damn phony? Oh, and if somebody notices that's not aligned with our little black secrecy bullshit, then you call them a tether. Take,
Exactly.
take the truth wherever the hell it comes from. Truth will always allow you to triumph.
Exactly. I agree. Call you a tether, call you crazy, unhinged, all these little
Or
buzzwords.
or black conservative.
Exactly.
Okay, to me, if they ain't selling out and they're saying save the baby, save the family, and they're not saying eat the poop out of a white supremacist ass, I can kind of work with them.
Hmm.
I'm saying, because again, I'm not too here's a point that y'all keep accepting but won't give me the out of. Who you fuck is your responsibility, right? And then from there, I don't understand why other people have their hands in it because it's not children. I very much think that if it were children being fucked, we should have a lot more to say. But as it stands, my children are being fucked in a whole other way because I'm having to take time out of my day to address this when, as it stands, things that have needed to be done to get justice have already started. Y'all just don't know about it because again, I'm not a messy person.
Ex-
But when I saw that fucking trailer, I can't lie. I will not lie. That boiled me to an extent where I wanted to talk about it. And I wanted to talk about it because Jason Reed has been around longer than me, and to a point where I've had conversation with him about why are we here when people aren't doing the things that he's talking about. And then I actually use this nigga's talking points in real time to him, and okay, we agree to part ways. And then from the part ways last year to the beginning of March as it stands, I am being um I'm still having to deal with this shit when I ended it last year.
I have a
And
but
question,
but
Eve.
I gotta say this because a lot of people are ignoring something. Everybody's not the same. A lot of people, when you do this to them, and cyberbullying has pushed people to the point of self harm, suicide, and other things. This had to be understood by the person that put the photos out. If a person's in a fragile state, if they're in a new marriage and they're working through this, there have been people who've taken their lives when this is done. Please understand that the person that issued those pictures didn't care about the consequences that it would cause the subject of the photos.
They
That
didn't. It was
that's
just a selfish moment,
it's cruel.
a power move.
There are people who have killed themselves behind less.
Yeah. He just wanted a power move. That's what it
Okay,
is about.
violent, a violent psychological strike.
Exactly.
And to this point, if that's the type of person that you need to explain the news to you, then I say go be there. Don't be here, go be there. Because need to be around people who understand that, my minis matter, because their minis matter to me. As it stands, MICAH, y'all remember MICAH? MICAH's GoFundMe is not where it needs to be. MICAH's, oh, let me tell y'all a story. I teach Sunday school, right? Every Sunday. And, when Jeremy exposed me, I lost children who were in my class because Jeremy told them to not associate with me. And okay, boohoo, even though I'd been around these children for basically a year, and every Sunday I'm with these children and teaching them, whatever. That was okay. Anyway, so this Sunday, Sage showed up, and she's MICAH's sister, and she's, a little girl, not a baby, but she's not in grade school yet. Well, anyway, Sage wanted to tell us about MICAH. And you know what she said? She said, that mean doctor killed my brother. Like, she's
Wow.
4, maybe. And that's what she said. Like, she's talking about, her day and stuff. And that's what she talks about. That's what she said. And I had to correct her. I said that evil doctor murdered your brother, and we're going to get you justice, because essentially that's what I've been trying to do ever since I found out that he was murdered by Texas Children's Hospital and those doctors. And to me, again, trying to nix a person like me who has gone above and beyond for y'all, that just kind of really rubbed me the wrong way. And as it stands, I've not stopped doing the things that I said that I was going to do. And to the point that I talked to Sage on Sunday, I'm still going to continue to fight for justice. But like the rabbit hole being so deep, if I hadn't talked about MICAH in a way that was a persistent, annoying at this point presence, y'all would not even know that the Black Authority had anything to say other than it was sad. At least Tariq dropped 500 on it. Like, if we're gonna sit here and do that about Tariq and Jeremy, I'm gonna right now out loud just say that Tariq has been to meetings. Tariq has dropped money on shit that matters. And Tariq does what he fucking wants to do. And I'm all about us doing what the fuck we want to do. Like, stop the pocket watching, unless you feel like you're being harmed. And if you feel like something's happened to you, then you got to do what needs to be done so that we can get back to work. Because to me, that's the fucking point. So all this other stuff, I think that people are just mad at themselves, because I was mad at myself. But you
You
can't just
didn't do
stay there.
anything, Eve. Don't be mad at yourself.
I
Okay?
mean, what I'm saying is mad at myself at not picking up on the signs. Because, like, Shantae and Jason, y'all haven't necessarily been around for all of the exposure, right? But you start to look at what's being presented. Eldridge Cleaver being your avatar. The things that you're saying about the family versus how that the Black family is being attacked across all areas of people activity. You talk about these people, but then again, are you doing the things that you're talking about, or have you perfected a way to explain things to people? And that's your role. Some coaches are fat as fuck, but they can get you to being able to shoot the shot or run the race because they understand the science behind it. And niggas get fooled because people can understand the science behind things, and then they think that, well, if you can talk about it so well, then you must be doing that.
No,
I
you're just
call
talking
cap.
about it
Eve,
well.
Sister Eve, can we remind everybody that Eldridge Cleaver raped men and women
Yeah.
and beat the shit out of his wife, Kathleen
Hmm.
Cleaver? Was very violent, got people killed. I'm not saying that there's nothing good that came, but I'm fascinated at how we, as a collective, because there's nobody white and male that he ever hurt, but he raped black women, he raped black men, beat black women, raped white women. Isn't it interesting? No smoke or resistance against the main person that's oppressing us, but you're able to do this stuff to women without a conscience. And we cheer them on the same way we cheer on Iceberg Slim, we cheer on pimps and human traffickers. I mean, where's our damn Toussaint Louverture, Jean-Jacques Dessalines? We need some Nat Turners. We don't need Iceberg Slim. We don't need Eldridge Cleaver. We need some people that fight and stand up. We need Denmark VC, right? Well, the same way I want there to be warrior sisters, we need warrior brothers. And in reality, if you're a warrior brother, you protect and uplift women. And those that are lost that don't want to be protected, that's a different situation. But we cannot afford as a people to continue to pretend that being sexual predators and abusers of our women make us men. It basically makes us bitches with dicks.
True. I completely agree.
And to the point of the entire space, everybody who's been listening, I know that there have been dissenting opinions about people and, the peopling that's happened. What I'm saying is that if we're supposed to be doing one thing, then why aren't people doing that one thing? Why is the focus on this other thing? And if the focus is going to be on this other thing, well, I'm going to start highlighting some of these other things, So I know after I end this space, there's going to be some spaces. My name's going to be in the title, or maybe they've learned and they won't put my name in the title, but my name is definitely going to be in their mouths. And as such, if you need daddy that much, you can have him. I'm just saying that that's not a person that I want to be associated with. And for what it's worth, a lot of the things that y'all are thinking that he's done for himself, maybe you should start questioning those things. Ask for the paperwork because he's Mr. Paperwork, right? Like he tells you these things and then y'all get stuck on stupid and you don't actually follow through with half of what he said. And I say that if you actually started doing half, not only would your life look a lot better, but you would be clear to ask some of these questions that I think need to be asked. Because again, I'm not saying he's the ops, right? But I am saying that
Yeah.
if a person is trying to nix somebody from the reparations conversation, but you're not out here talking about reparations to people who matter, then what is that? Can anybody in the room right now, to live recorded, oh, it's not recorded, live listening, share the space to somebody you think has an answer? How is that Black empowerment? If you are not a person actually talking to people who matter for reparations, then why would nixing someone who is talking to people about reparations the move? Unless it's some shit where you don't actually want us to get reparations. And I get that because we got a lot of brother fucking going on, like Dr. Short talks about.
And
Want to
Dr.
be the
Short.
big nigga in the room. And that's cool. Yeah, niggas have called me feminist off of this shit. Really? Really, nigga?
Wait, they
Like, if
called you
this
a
happened to your
feminist?
sister, like, you wouldn't want to do something about it? Yeah, no, I've gotten called I'm a feminist. This is all like, this is feminism, and this is not, you know,
So
to
they're
me,
they're co-signing this predatory behavior. And
men and women are co-signing the predatory behavior. Absolutely.
oh my
And
goodness.
I would say that if anything would hurt the movement, it would be niggas like you, because you're out here fucking people. Like, to what extreme? Y'all remember Tina? I don't know if y'all remember Tina. I don't know how much you've been listening to this nigga, but she died in some weird ass, that shit was so fucking strange. And I've talked for hours at a point, at a time. And you get lost in the conversation, and maybe you're hearing some shit that you don't necessarily really want to hear. And then you slip up while you're driving, and now you're fucking dead.
Wow.
Like, I can't say that that didn't happen, and I'm not saying that that did happen, but I am saying that with what Dr. Short said about how people understand that certain things can trigger certain behaviors,
Hmm.
some of y'all know uh, history that I have with regards to, people offing themselves and not wanting to be here. And if you would know some information like that and then, choose to violate a person who was dealing with something like that, what would the math be? Like, wouldn't you think like, all right, I got good content for next week. Eve's gonna off herself. Like,
Yeah,
is that where we're going? Because that's kind of
yeah.
where it felt like.
Probably would have spin
Um,
it as he was a hero and he tried to save you. One of those spins on everything because he
That
only
shit makes me
controls
so
the
up.
narrative.
I'm so grossed out about just having that thought. But I can't not ask questions. But some of y'all don't ask questions. Not you, Shantae. You always ask questions. But
That's why y'all don't like me. It's okay though.
that
I
is
don't
the
care.
reason why people don't like you. Like you ask questions. And I think that people should be cool with people who are consistent, right?
Yeah.
If this person is like this and you know that you can't rock with them, then isn't that easier than trying to be around people you don't like? Like being around people you think are the same people, and then you find out through a text message that you have to be unfriended because daddy said to unfriend you, and here's a cash app because you really my girl, you really my sis, my personal line is open to you, sis. But I gotta unfriend you and I can't follow you no more and I can't support your stuff even though I
Oh, can I
believe in
say her
everything
name?
you're talking. No, we're not gonna do that right now.
Okay. But she weak for that shit too. She
Yeah,
got
she
her
is weak
own
for that
she
shit.
got her own issues going on.
She
And
got
she
her
really
own
need to
shit going on.
focus on what's going on in her home for her to even do that to you, a black woman.
But
I don't like to
here's
use the
my
word
thing.
pick me. I don't like to use the word pick me because
It's not.
I
I think that cult following and cult worship and the cult of personality really have some niggas gone. And because I know that it's because we're owed reparations, like really truly, if we had the resources to do everything that we were supposed to be doing, a lot of these mental disconnects that people have of wanting to be accepted, low confidence, wanting to be heard, all that shit would not be here. Not like this. We would have some other shit going on because there's always going to be some shit. But the specific shit that we're dealing with, it's been studied. There's case studies about us. Why? Because they study us. And if you don't give a damn that they've studied us, then people who are in the similar situation, all victims of the same, fucked up system, are going to try to get over. And you'll allow it because you'll feel like this is where you're supposed to be. You're supporting the movement. You give money to a person who can say some shit that you can't say. I think that's cool because
yeah.
as you've already accepted, you can't say it. But nigga, you can get there. I promise you can get there if you want to, but maybe you don't want to.
No, no,
That's when you
no.
should start thinking about the messenger and which messengers. Like I refuse to believe that people would say that, a staunch white supremacist is going to want our reparations, on some like, well, I can agree with someone who's like this if they say something like this. I don't think it's got to be so nuanced. Like, if people agree that we're owed, then we should work towards that. Now, there's disagreements about what we're owed. And I feel like the people who have the stronger argument should speak. But as it stands, we're fighting that. And then we're fighting white people who don't feel like we're owed. And then we're fighting these people who are not even supposed to be here because they come in here with scabies and measles and shit that's already not here no more. Like all of it. And it shit is wild to me. So it's been fun with you being up here, and I'm gonna just offer the mic to anybody who's had anything to say that hasn't said anything already. But I'm not gonna be here all night because I got work to do, and I know that y'all got work to do. But
I'm off
as
tomorrow.
transparent as lucky you, I'm not. I gotta teach. Um, I've been transparent about this whole shit. So if anybody has questions that they feel like needs to be answered in order for them to do what needs to be done, I pay attention to all that shit. And if that's where you are, then I'm going to give you the answer. But trust, some of y'all don't want to know some of this shit. I promise you, you don't want to know it. It would be better for you to just go with your instincts and not turn down that corner. But as soon as you do, now you know some shit where it's like, if you don't do something about it, you a whole fucked up person, really, truly. And is that where we want to be? Like, people really want to be having these internal dialogues with themselves about a person they've been following for 15 years and have given thousands of dollars to. And like, the shit is crazy. If you as a person, and I'm talking to Jeremy, who might be in the anonymous listeners because I never know.
He got one of
Jeremy,
his cronies in the
I mean,
chat.
that's cool too, but specifically, Jeremy, if you was about the business, if you was about doing the work, none of this would have happened. So this is all on you, Playboy. And as it stands, you got it to fight it, right? So you ain't do nothing wrong. Like, let's go. But as it stands, you a real funny person to try to find. You only really show up for ass and interviews because I've never
Nope.
seen you pull up and I've never seen you talk to people about what's owed to us, and I've never seen you at a rally. So that's where I'm at. And for as it stands, my dude who met you in person had some words for you, and you cowered like a bitch. So if this is where we want to be, then I think people should know that this is where we are. And, support who you want to support. But just know you start talking about, and the black authority said, fuck you. And not even because it was some shit that was wrong, but just, on principle.
Eve,
Fuck
I
you.
have a quick question though. When he met your man, he didn't stand up tall and said, "I'm uncompromising."
No, he cowered like a bitch and didn't want to
No,
talk.
no, you're
Um,
lying. You're lying because
I, it's
he's
crazy.
he's uncompromising, and he said,
No,
"I'm."
you know what happened, Shantae? Let me tell you what happened. What happened is a couple weeks after that, he made a program about how he's gonna get his candy bar and shoot niggas who are trying to stand up for their bitches.
What?
Real talk. Y'all can go look for it on the damn business channel if he didn't move it over to his Patreon. If you want to give him a listen, but real talk, he was on some. I'm gonna take your bitch, and I got my candy bar, and I'm like, hold up, because a couple weeks ago there was no candy bar, and I'm not advocating for violence. I'm just saying that if this is the person you keep saying that you are, you didn't even have nothing to say. Like, so again, people are not asking the right questions because they've fallen in love with the voice. And to that point, I get it. But if you've been met with some common sense, to me, which is what was met to me, I got some common sense about what's going on, and then you start asking questions, and the shit don't add up. And if it adds up for you, that's cool. I would very like you to be over where the math makes sense for you.
Yeah.
But if you out here talking about we're not getting reparations and that's where you are, well, fuck you in a very big way, because you know why you're not getting reparations. This nigga don't fuck with us. Not for real.
No.
Because if he did, none of this would have been where we ended up. We would have just moved on because he would have been about the fucking work. Antonio, you came back up because I guess you got a little break at work. You got something?
You know what? Yeah, I got something that was funny, but so since you just we're talking publicly again, you know what I'm saying? So were you out of a relationship when you hooked up with Jason?
I was. I broke up with my dude last year, and then I hooked up with Jason right after. But to
But
honesty, I'd been talking to him for years. Years. We had been talking for years. And it was like some shit where I'm like, all right, let's see what's up. And I did. And then I asked questions, and I was met with, all right, that's not what you thought. This isn't that. And I said, okay, like a big girl, Antonio. I was like, cool. We're not going to do it like this. Fine. And do you know what his ass did? His ass fucking had a temper tantrum and exposed my fucking nudes.
now that's
So,
so shit. If what you saying, well, I'm not even look. I ain't trying to put no statement out there for the record, but if that's true, because I've been in situations like that's, you know what I'm saying, that ain't right. You feel me? So I give you that. Like if somebody retaliated because they was mad, but this was I came up because I wanted to say if I'm in a situation where I was talking to your bitch and then she brought you around me, brother, and you mad at me because she crept over here with me for the time being, hey, you might not get words from me neither. You supposed to hold your ground. You deal with your woman on your time. Because if you run up on me with the shit, it might be a problem. So right there with the candy bar shit,
all right. So here's the thing, though.
I'm not saying I want something to happen and go down, but
I
brothers should never
I
try
hear
to
you.
take the man down
Here's the thing,
when you
though.
have to deal with your woman.
That's a that makes sense, right? But in context, with the information that had, again, you wouldn't know about any of this had he not told y'all that, not you, I guess, because you weren't there, but told the internet, that there was something going on. From there, I feel like, if you out here trying to take niggas bitches, or if you did, and, you should protect yourself because bitches is crazy and niggas is crazy. I
Yeah,
agree with that. What I don't agree with is the fact that when my dude met you, we had already ended things, and everything should have been what you said it was, which is, this is all business. Like, this is the interview, like, for what it's worth, the interview that that is not on the trailer that you guys saw with Shammond Williams, who used to play for the Lakers. I think that was strategically cut from the trailer because of all of the association with me. But, as it stands, maybe he'll put it out on B-roll or something, or it'll be in there just real small or whatever. But that's not the only interview I assisted or helped get out there. And to the point of even having Jason Reed here, he knew about some of these interviews in real time years ago when they got recorded. So I know about the new ones. He knows about the old ones and put them together like butt cheeks. And now we got 8 a.m., which, I mean, it took a long time to wake up, right? But if this isn't really what you do, then maybe that's not what you're doing. And that's cool. I'm not saying you got to be the person putting out the documentaries. I'm not. Because there's other people putting out documentaries. But do y'all give a damn? No. Why? Because he didn't tell you about it. He didn't tell you to listen to the person. He didn't tell you to follow it. He didn't tell you what's out there other than, it's white people fucking with us. And if you want to fuck bitches, you got to do it this way. What the hell is that? But that's where we are. And I think that that's okay if we're honest. But Antonio, my issue with you keep saying that you keep saying, well, if you say that that's what happened, here's my question for you. In what scenario is it okay to leak somebody's nudes? And if the answer is if they signed on a contract that said that they, don't mind their nudes being leaked or whatever, that would be cool. And I would
I'm
agree
not
with that.
okay with that. Nah, I'm not co-signing that. But I'm only saying that because I know everybody's saying, well, you gonna hurt the victim more if you ask for proof. Motherfucker, I don't agree to shit that I don't have proof of. But I'm not saying send it to me. So I
No,
gotta.
I'm saying it's all on Twitter. Here's what I'm having to deal with, y'all. I'm literally being bullied with my pictures, and then I report it to Twitter as the person in the picture saying, I don't want this picture out here because I didn't post it. And you know what Twitter's telling me? It's not full nude. We disagree with this decision, and the picture gets to stay. So there are people in the little B1 circle who have my shit on their profile. It's right there. My ass is right there. And
It's
it's a
on
nice
their
ass.
profile?
It's on their shit. Yeah, it's
Are
in
you
their
kidding
timeline.
me?
I'm dead ass. So if you need proof,
Antonio,
you go
that's
back to
proof right
January
there.
12th when the program was posted on Patreon. From there, anybody who has my fucking picture on their timeline, or who had it and deleted it, or who was sharing it and on other platforms, all of those people got those pictures from the program. Where here's the thing, Antonio, it would be different if it was like, I think he leaked these pictures because I only sent these pictures to him. No, this nigga went live, and the first words out of his mouth were, I have a disgruntled mod, and y'all all know her. Her name is Eve.
Oh man, he did that.
Wow.
That's how the fucking program started.
I
And
mean,
then from there, for more than 2 hours, not only did my ass get shown, but, other parts of my body that should have not been on the internet. But I get it. That's a mistake that I made trusting people on the internet. So fuck y'all for keeping reminding me that I'm a trusting person who thinks people are who they say they are. Clearly, that's not where we are.
You
But
ain't
am I
reminding me,
about
girl.
to
Don't
kill
trust
myself about
nobody.
it? No. True, but I know that we got a real fight, and I'm not going to agree with everybody about everything. But if these niggas can't get my name out their mouth, get my shit off their page, then I feel like I should do something about it. And if niggas around them are not going to do something about it, well, then reinforcements. There's a judicial system that says that what happened was illegal, a crime, and punishable. So if they ever find this nigga, then, maybe I can get some justice.
He at
But
his
as it
mama house.
stands, you know.
He live with his mama.
This has been information that I've received, and as it stands, I don't know if there's like a ring app there, right, where you can see when the boys pull up with the papers. Or I don't know what's going on, but yeah.
She gonna be like, Jeremy, there's some police out here with some paperwork. It's okay, mama. It's okay. Go down. Go lay down, mama. Go lay down.
Y'all talk about Umar hotel hopping, but I digress on that.
Oh,
So if anybody has anything else, Antonio, if you've got more, but like I said, the evidence is out there. You can go look for it yourself. I'm not sending you my ass, but it's out there. And if you look from January 12th, you'll find it because these niggas have not been silent about any of this. They've very much been like, Daddy said that you was a
I mean,
scallywag. You
if
was
it
a
was put
B1
out there on
bust
the
down.
broadcast, I mean, it ain't shit that shit. Ain't, you know what I'm saying? Thousands of people already seen it out here. So, I mean, it is what it is. So.
I'm just
That's it,
saying,
though.
Judge
I
Joe Brown
appreciate
said that that's not a
the
man. He said that's a bitch, and I
Mhm.
couldn't agree more.
What's
And
it?
Judge Joe Brown met him in person, right? Met him in person like me for work, and then had tried to been talking to him after that, but could never get him to have a conversation, and that always rubbed him the wrong way. And I feel like y'all should ask questions like why he isn't around some of the people that he used to be around. He'll tell you it's because he's being innovative, and you got to get new information and new perspectives and stuff. But who is the leading scholar for us speaking the right way about reparations but Dr. Anderson? Why is he not having a conversation with him? He speaks very highly of him, but he speaks very highly about a lot of people that he doesn't really fuck with for real, for real.
That's all he taught.
So I'm just saying people should ask questions, and then they should ask his ass. Answer the fucking questions, because when I did that, that's when things ended, and I was cool with things ending. But according to him, no, it's not gonna end, bitch. You're gonna have to deal with this for the rest of your life. And I'm like, all right, cool, as long as we get reparations. You see how that works? I'm about to fucking work. This nigga's trying to get y'all to pay $200,000 for some interviews that have already been recorded that he could put out if he wanted to. If
Right
it was
now.
really about the work, he could do that. And, he's got it, right? Antonio, how many times have you heard this nigga talk about how much money you're supposed to have? So then you would think he's got it. But does he really got it? Or is it something else? And if it's something else, then yeah, we all hustling because we got to get it. But god damn it, I want us to get what's owed to us. I want can we focus there, right?
Do you believe that he should be paid for making that documentary? Is it okay for him to receive money for that?
Absolutely, people should get paid for the work that they've done. And since you agree, where is my compensation for the work that I did on the documentary? And I'm not asking you
I ain't
specifically
mad at
because
that.
I'm
I
saying
ain't
that
mad at that.
I would not even be having this conversation live if it hadn't grinded my gears so much that y'all are about to fund this nigga's legal fees. And then go look at the damn paperwork. Y'all have already told me in this space that in the fine print it says legal fees. What legal fees could you have from a documentary where everybody agreed to be in it other than some other shit going on? And I'm not even saying what all the other shit is as much as a wrong happened to me. It was illegal. So, if it got, to a point where this is where we are and he feels like he needs to fight it, well, y'all about to fund that shit. And I think you should know. And maybe you don't agree with that type of stuff.
And my
So,
personal opinion, and this is my personal opinion, should he get paid for his work? He's coming out with a product. Just because you got a product doesn't mean I have to buy it. So
oh, that's a great point.
he's
So if he
not
wants to get paid for it, just put it out in DVD and let the people buy the DVDs.
exactly.
That
You're
would make
not. I'm
that
not
would make a lot of
obligated.
sense.
Where's the obligation? I don't owe you nothing. I see it. I don't want to watch that. I'm good. My $40 go on my tank. No, I could buy some chicken from Broward Meat Market. I'm good. There's no obligation. You want to pull on people's emotional heartstrings to make them feel good and make them feel bad about white supremacy and all this. Here's money. Here's $40 for the DVD, and here's additional $100 for an executive credit because you're going to just put it at the end of the documentary because you already done edited and everything. You're not entitled to my money just because you made something. I made a picture. I drew a picture. You gonna give me $80? I'm.
Look,
I should get
Shantae,
paid for
my
my
thing
work.
is, look, Shantae, niggas is gonna buy what they want to buy, which is why I call cap on every single fucking person who has not donated to Micah's GoFundMe. Because y'all out here talking about it's the babies, it's the babies. That little boy was murdered, and I say we because I feel like this is a fight for all of us who have children and don't. But they need money to fight this shit. Do you know in Texas there's a cap on how much you can sue a doctor for killing you?
No,
And
there's
it's like
one in
two
Florida
hundred fifty
too.
thousand
A
dollars.
lot of these hospitals have that same cap,
So
a
I'm saying
legal
like we
cap. Like
already
you
fighting a
can't
damn
sue.
uphill battle.
You can only
And
sue for
and
so much.
the shit is crazy because I people who should care should do stuff. And they say they care and then they don't do stuff. But then they want to crucify me for being a fucking human. Hold on, pause. None of your business. You're new to the stage. Let's go with you.
Yeah, I was just trying to get clarification on who y'all was talking about this documentary.
I'm talking about
I
the
just
Black
seen.
Authority, Jason Black,
Oh, good.
Jeremy Lloyd Smith.
So you also, so he's running the same Tariq Nasheed play of basically having y'all front run a for-profit documentary that's just going to talk and
Yeah.
do absolutely nothing.
Okay,
They're
so
running
again,
a cultural store.
you got
Yeah,
some weird
yeah,
feedback. That's so weird. I don't like to hear me, and I think that that's so strange because some of y'all like to hear me. But yes, Nanya, we kind of talked about the segues or nuances between different members of the New Black Media. To my point tonight, I would really like to focus on Jeremy Barbell Black because that's the one who's aggrieved me. And all parties involved in whatever grievances they have, know that I fully support the things that they're doing to get the justice that they need to get. Now, my personal about Tariq, I don't give a fuck what you put out if I support it, because I'm going to support it. And y'all niggas is like that too, because you got, different shits that you're into, whether it's shoes or clothes or food that you really like or whatever. People support what they like. I don't have any issues with that. I don't even have any issues with people pushing a product that other people feel like doesn't do anything because people are going to buy what they want to buy. I have a problem with someone fucking with me. That's my problem. And inside of fucking with me, you have disrupted my business. You have caused me personal anguish on the fact that I have to keep recounting my personal life to people who I don't fucking know because the message is that we're supposed to be fighting for reparations when I'm actually out here fighting for reparations and the paperwork ain't adding up because y'all don't ask no fucking questions. Not you. Clearly, you seem like a person who's asked questions, but other people. And just as a point to the anonymous listener, y'all don't have to be anonymous. Say it with your chest. Like, I don't know what y'all so scared for. But go ahead, Nanya. I want to keep it focused on the person who's wronged me because I really don't have any issue with the business aspect of it as long as it's not fucking with me. But if you get paid for my images, well, now that's distribution of porn on some level. I mean, that's like in the revenge porn law. So like he's actually made money off of my pictures because people paid for the program. I have all sorts of issues with my specific grievance and the fact that he's got another documentary coming out where he wants money to pay for the documentary, which I know is already done or just needs to be edited. And it's not just pay for the documentary. When movies come out, y'all go to the movies and you pay for the movie because you wanted to see it. Movies are not asking you to front the movie. And if they did, it would be before the movie came out.
exactly.
Like, so uh, people, it, however you get to whatever product you have, I don't care about those nuances as long as it's not shitting on real life people who are doing work inside of everything that you're talking about. And if that's the case, well, now we got issues, right? Because the things you're talking about are not the things you're doing.
So can I ask you a question? Do you know who this person is directly? Do you know his first and last name? Have you seen him? If you've worked with him, do you know
Yes.
him? Or has it been... I'm sorry, what was your
Yes.
response? Okay, perfect. So this has always been my problem with this guy. You know what I'm saying? His anonymity. The fact that, people who work with him, white people, white attorneys, whatever white person at YouTube, all these people, Clear Channel, when he did the signs for I forgot her name. What's her name? The girl who got shot
Breonna
in
Taylor.
Breonna
Tennessee.
Taylor.
When he did the posters for that, he had to reveal himself to Clear Channel. The only people that he's hiding himself from is the black
That's
Nunya.
community.
actually
But
not
yet and
true.
still,
No, no.
Nunya, right quick. Um, hello, can you hear me? Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
he has a
sorry.
mustache.
Okay, no, I
yeah,
was
yeah.
just gonna say he looks just like your avatar, but black.
Stop. That's funny. He doesn't have hair. No, Nanya, you don't have to. What you just said is inaccurate. He didn't even have to do that. How do I know? Because I've bought billboards before, and my anonymity has remained intact with regards to Lamar billboards. And he gave me a contact for Lamar, and that kind of did something, but it didn't do all the stuff that he said. Again, the rabbit hole is deep, and to the point. I put out billboards myself, and I never
Eve,
had
Eve,
to
what he's
say that I was there.
Eve, what I'm saying is, I think I know what Nunez saying is, as far as like, if you go back and you look at race war and all that, like people like Jared Taylor, what's the other white dude he interviewed? Richard Spencer. They know what he looks like. You feel me? That's what
But
Union.
again,
Well,
that I've already kind of touched on
well,
that because Nanya, I'm sorry, your feedback. He will show up
I
for
just
an
want to
interview.
correct the record.
He
I
does.
just want to correct it real quick. The narrative that he put out when he was trying to say that he was, or when he was trying to solicit credit for putting out Breonna Taylor's billboards, is that he said that he had to talk to the people at Clear Channel directly. So he said
And I'm
this.
sure he did talk
I'm
to them
going off of what
directly
he
on the
said.
phone. That's all I'm saying. Because you don't actually have to meet
But
nobody in person.
but what I'm saying is that at least they know what business is behind it, what business name, his name. They know this information, the basic information that black people don't know. And so far as him specifically, he doxed me to 3,000 people. So I have a personal grievance with him too. So at the end of the day, like, he's a piece of shit. And I'm sorry to say it, but anybody who knowingly works with him from this point forward is also a piece of
I
shit
agree
too. He shouldn't
100%.
be in our community whatsoever if he's going to be anonymous. Because he has no words for Tariq Nasheed whatsoever. He has no criticism for Tariq Nasheed. Even when Tariq Nasheed was going after one of the people that works with him, he said nothing and stayed silent like a fucking coward. He should not be in our community. He was basically simping over Olivia like a little sip. He's trying to basically play both sides. He's trying to be another Rush Limbaugh in our community, basically being paid by Republicans is what I mean. And then trying to take over Kevin Samuel's job. He's a piece of shit. So I'm sorry you got fucked over, but you shouldn't have worked with him in the first place.
Absolutely. You are absolutely right. And
And he
that's what
also shouldn't
Shantae, that's
have
what I'm saying.
done what he did to Eve. If anything,
Now,
that's the
yeah, and if he
icing on the
docs you, then
cake.
yeah, that's fucked up too. Like this is what I'm all right, so now we've got another person who's been doxxed, and y'all can say that there's reasons that you make sense, but as it stands, nobody's given me no reasons on why I should have been, you know, violated like that. And essentially, if we are people who are supposed to be doing work, you know, when we have grievances, we take care of it on our own, you know. And if that can't happen because people are slime balls, then I think that, you know, the man behind the curtain is 5'7", 230 pounds. And, you know, I think that there's some people in the room who probably thought that he didn't have no body fat. Shit is crazy
He
how you
270.
can just
Ooh, that is morbid
make up.
obesity.
Can I put in one little tidbit to that to actually solidify in my mind his agent status? He specifically asked his people, the 3,000 people on the live that were talking, and they did call my phone, by the way, but he asked them to do a wellness check to Denver police, or implied for them to do a wellness check on me with my number basically having a Denver area code. So naturally, they would call into Denver police for that wellness check. So he knows that wellness checks lead to death, assault for black people. Yet and still, he was promoting that. And not only that, but YouTube was reported that information, and YouTube allowed him to private his video, edit it out, and repost it. Anybody who's played games with YouTube and put out a narrative on YouTube that YouTube doesn't like, you know that YouTube is the most racist fucking company that you've ever dealt with. But yet and still they have kid gloves for the black authority. The reason why is because I believe that YouTube is funding all these radical fucking narratives. Anybody who wants to throw in a little bit of violence into the black empowerment message, they allow you to stay on the fucking platform. If you look at what you call it, Black Authority. If you look at Tommy Sotomayor asking for a Black Holocaust on a video that was monetized. If you look at Tariq Nasheed talk about some MICAH X was a good guy even though he was a domestic terrorist. If you look at MICAH X.
I appreciate your passion, brother. But again, just like earlier, and you weren't in here earlier, but I really have to keep the focus on my grievance, and not because of anything you're saying I don't agree needs to be said, but right now we got to be focused because my claim is that my actual life is being affected by Jeremy Lloyd Smith, aka Jason Black. And from there, you keep throwing in Tariq, and I know a lot of people don't like him. I know that, and I know that people don't like how he does things. I also know some other shit, but until until people do what I'm doing, I can't do it for them. So all I'm going to do is speak to what I know. And I can speak to what's happened to me. And you can speak to what's happened to you. So if Tariq fucked with you, then I guess you could speak to that. But you can't keep throwing Tariq in this right now, because Tariq never revenge porned me. He never tried to break up my family and said fuck my kids. You know, like, I think that really matters in this specific conversation.
He said, "Fuck your kids."
I mean,
Yeah, what the hell?
in more than one way, because check it, if the goal was, and when I say the goal, if the conversation was, Eve, if you want to do it this way, then quit your job and leave the kids so that you can go on the road with me. It sounds like fuck my
What?
kids.
That
So
is. Leave your job and leave your kids. That's called
Whoa.
isolation. He wants to isolate you and have you depend on him financially. That's a financial abuse. Okay? So girl, you were a victim. And he tried to manipulate you and isolate you and go on the road, just you and him. So you're dependent on him for every dollar. Quick little story. My little sister, she got married to this man and all that. Ooh, we love each other and all this blah blah. They known each other less than a year and got married. She lived in Vegas. Oh, I'm going to Vegas, girl. We getting married. We living in Vegas. Okay, whatever. My sister don't work. He was the sole provider. She ain't know this guy. I called her at 3 o'clock in the morning one day. I said, Sherry, if anything pops off, I need for you. You call me and I will fly your ass back home because right now you're isolated. Now, she didn't take me up on that offer, but she managed to come home. Ladies, don't let a man isolate you from your loved ones in your family. Do not become financially dependent on a man who is an abuser. There's good brothers out there. But if a man tells you to leave your kids, leave your job, and so you only depend on him, that's a recipe for disaster. That's a recipe. That's a
Exactly.
and
recipe
look,
to get.
Shantae,
Go ahead.
anybody who knows me, I feel like anybody who knows me, Katie, give me an actual emoji that shows me that you know me. And it's, when have I ever been a person who would even consider fuck my kids? Like, where does that even make sense unless this cult shit is some real shit? And if you really got people who will kill and die for you, you can ask them to do some crazy ass shit and they'll do it. But to me, the math won't mathin', because how do you break up the black family and then think that we're gonna get somewhere productive? My kids are gonna look back at this and be like, mommy left me for this nigga, and whatever. Like, i
You left me
i
for that
can't
little
make that
midget.
shit make
I'm
sense.
sorry, little person. Sorry.
Well, think about it. Think about his The Business channel. Where on the business is he promoting
He's
black
not.
He's
families?
not. And again,
Exactly. He's not promoting black women, black families, black nothing. So all he's promoting is like trying to down black men for not having money, even though he ignores the fact we're living in a system of white supremacy that impoverishes us systemically, and then basically tries to say that black men who actually do have money have the right to trick off on any woman they want to. Basically, that's what he's saying, in
And
my
they,
opinion.
yeah.
So there's no respect for black women on this channel. So privately, I would think that he would be just as disrespectful to black women as he is on his channel.
and
Go
that's,
ahead.
there's the nuances again, because privately people can present as one way, and then publicly you can present as another way, and actually you can present as a whole bunch of fucking ways if you've done it for a very long time. And if you don't pay attention to the signs, if you don't pay attention to the people, shout out to Jason Reed, who's gotten a lot of slack tonight for being a person who tried to fucking warn me. So essentially, if I had paid attention to the tether, I personally wouldn't be in this situation right now. And he's not the only person who warned me about what was going on. My dude also was picking up on some shit, but I was very much, no, Mr. Black Empowerment said this. That's that. What the fuck? And a lot of y'all are like that. And I understand your reservation tonight has been, you're finding out some shit that you didn't want to know. But now that you know, what are you going to do about it? And if you're a person who's like, I'm going to just eat the meat and spit out the bones, good. Do that very publicly over there so I can know to stay the fuck away from you and everything that you've got going on. And when we still don't have reparations in 5 years, next year, and tomorrow, it'll be because y'all's asses are in the fucking way. And when more people see the people that are in the way, I really hope that that means that we will do something else.
Man, I just have one thing to say, and I'll leave it, for the room. And as a person in from the inner circle, I'll tell you like this: the Black channel is to reel you in. Okay, that's what gets you because it's information that you can use. It's information that is relevant to you. You know what I'm saying? It's stuff that is uplifting that you find positive, and you say, "Yeah, this I relate to that. This is what we need." The business, that's his baby. That's who he really is. Just telling you straight up. Everything because and always realize what he's put his passion into. It's been the business. He has a Patreon for power dynamics and the business. That's his baby. The Black channel, the Saturday and Sunday shit, that's just to reel you in. And I say that to say this, and I peep game because he talked that power dynamic shit a long time ago before he rehashed the Black channel shit. And when he talked that power dynamic shit, he did that with Tommy Sotomayor. That's where I found him. That's where I discovered him. That's where I found out about him was through Tommy Sotomayor before Tommy decided to go on his jihad and get the white woman and act this whole bullshit. When I say I've been around the whole B1 and Jason Black shit for time, longer than a lot of you guys, a lot longer than you guys. So when I hear things like I'm a tether, I'm jealous, I'm this, that, and the other, and all this, and I'm like, yo, I can, of course he's deleted all the prior broadcasts and shit where he said, oh, this is the chief, this is this is the soldier, Jason Reed, blah, 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 shouted me out left and right, left, right, and center. I've gotten him interviews on some of his biggest broadcasts where he's had, you know, that one freaking chick that who did the comic book about Dr. Shanine Howard, who did that comic book with the fucking disabled or the gay goddamn superhero, and he needed and said all this shit in front of Howard, and he did that whole interview with her. He didn't initiate that interview. I'm the one who had the conversation with her on Twitter. I'm the one that brought her to him. I'm the one who said she could be on the broadcast that he would interview. It's one of his biggest interviews, but he took it down. Okay. All right. There's more. I'm not the only one that was in there. You all can sit there and say, oh, you selling him out, whatever, you a backstabber. I'm not the only one. There's other people. Think about who's not in the circle no more. Think about the people who don't speak anymore. Okay. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. Everybody just can't leave and it be the problem be with them. It's not that. It's never that. It cannot be a multitude of people that leave. Okay. But for the sake of the quote movement, we just don't say nothing. It's because we said that, all right, the movement's the bigger picture. But this right here, this shit right here, dropping nude pics of somebody that was 10 toes down for you, moderating. And I used to question.
Oh, what the fuck? He actually
Yes,
did this. I thought this was a metaphor. What
yes,
the
he did
fuck?
this.
He should be in jail. What the Eve? Handle
Right,
that.
that's what I'm saying. For somebody that was 10 toes down, okay, to sit here and do this, I don't care. We can have our differences. I moved on. I weren't worried about that shit. Okay, if y'all follow that nigga, that's cool. You can follow him. You can believe that shit. You can give that nigga that money. But when I heard that this dropping her nudes on a Patreon private broadcast, okay, to where her nudes are on the internet, okay, regardless of what me, like I said, me and Eve could disagree. I could I'll tell anybody. Do I dislike Tariq? I don't dislike the brother. I just don't agree with everything that he does. He's funny as fuck. Okay. Don't get it twisted. He's funny. I laugh. More power to him. Get your money, bro. Okay. I'm gonna say what I say. Whether niggas listen to me, that's on you. I don't care. Okay. But I think that's funny. He gets his money. But what Tariq ain't done is he ain't dropped no revenge type porn shit on nobody. Okay. This is personal. That is some foul shit on somebody that you was intimate with, that you was 10 toes down with. Okay. And I'm going to tell y'all this. Eve's not the only one. Okay? She's not the only one. All right? Other women haven't spoken out. Eve is the one that's speaking out, but she's not the only one. Okay? She's not the only one. She's the one that's actually telling y'all. Whether y'all believe it or not, I don't give a damn. It's just the truth is the truth. Okay? And give her, it's not funny. It's not a joke. Okay? This is some serious shit. This is a woman that believed in this man. Okay? and devoted her time and energy. Okay, she's just a mother of five, now married, and because she got married to the man that she decided to be with, that we do some school kid shit, some hurt. Oh, I'm a hurt nigga. I'm gonna just put you on blast. We cannot, as men, as men. Okay, you can't sit up here and say we gonna protect black women, but then when a black woman presents some bullshit to you, okay, some real shit that you say, now this is the nigga, and you're like, all of a sudden you're questioning, well, he's the leader and the movement's more important. Bullshit, bullshit. If the code is the code, damn who the fuck is it who's over here telling you the message. If the person delivering the code is fucked up, the code still stands, but you deal with that person. Period. No ifs and buts about it, because your life is driven by a code of conduct. Doesn't matter who delivers it. If the person who delivers it is fucked up, you deal with that nigga, but the code still stands. And that's all I really have to say. And that's why I'm here. Because regardless, I love black people. I want you to get what is deserved. I don't have to agree with everything else that you do, but there's a lot, but I agree with you getting what is owed to you. I've always been about black people. My wife have always been about black people. I serve black people as a nurse. Let me tell y'all a story. One of the biggest, if many of you don't know, I'm a registered nurse, okay, and I work in an emergency department, okay. And one of the things that touched my heart 3 weeks ago is that I had a black man, a 46-year-old black man from Chicago, come into the emergency room, and he was in a sickle cell crisis. Okay, for those that don't know, when a person who has sickle cell has a sickle cell crisis, they are in excruciating pain, and that pain is all in their joints. They can't move, they're in pain. Fingers, this brother's fingers was twisted up in a shit ton of pain. Okay, and the one thing that happened, he came into the emergency room, and it was me as the nurse and two other black men, my fellow nurse and a tech, an EMT, three black men. We put that brother into a wheelchair and we took him into the ER room. I was his nurse. Okay. I asked that brother, he was in tears. This is a 46-year-old buff black man. Okay, strong muscles, works out, but he's in tears. The sickle cell is tearing his body apart. Okay. And I'm like, don't worry about it, bro. He's like, and he's telling me, nurse, for like 40 plus years, I've been dealing with this sickle cell crisis, man. I hate that the pain is unbearable. You got to help me. I asked him, I said, bro, what is your regimen? When you have a crisis, what's your regimen? So I can go right ahead, tell the doctor right now so we can get you this medication. What's your pain regimen? What did they do for the pain? Let me know so I can get you taken care of. I told them, but not one moment did I ask this nigga, excuse me, are you FBA? Not one moment did that nigga ask me, excuse me, sir, are you non-FBA? Okay, he didn't ask me that. I just saw a black man, okay, that was in pain, in crisis. Okay, I got the medication. We started an IV line in there. I pushed the medication. In that moment, after I put the medication down and that brother's pain was starting to be relieved, he looked in the room and he said, I can't believe this. I'm being taken care of by three black men. And I said, bro, where you from? And he's like, I'm from Chicago. I just moved down here. I'm in South Florida for those that don't know. He's like, I'm from Chicago and I just moved down here. I don't really have a pain management doctor, but in my whole life, when I've had crisis and I've been to the hospital, never in my life have I had three black men stand around and take care of me when I had this. And he's like, this is a beautiful thing. I'm coming back to this hospital whenever I have another situation. Y'all made me feel like I've never had this in my life. And I said, don't worry about it, bro. We're gonna take care of you. Okay. And then I walked, and when I got off of work that day, I thought about that shit. And I said, he never in his life seen three black men in the medical field, put him in a wheelchair, get him into the emergency room, put him in the bed, and take care of him and relieve his pain and help him out. Okay. And at that time, it didn't matter where the fuck I was from. Okay. It didn't matter where he was from. He was just a black man that needed my help. Okay. And that's how I treat all my patients. It doesn't matter where they from. Okay. I don't go in there thinking, oh, you this or you that. I don't think that. I just take care of my patients. That's my job. I love my people. And if you don't believe that, oh well, I will call bullshit out when I feel it is bullshit. Okay. We may not agree. We don't have to agree. We're never going to agree on everything. Okay. Because we're human. We're people. We have different things. We have different backgrounds. We have different experiences. But the goal is to have a common goal. And the goal should always be the goal of reuniting our people. But we don't help our people at the cost of hurting other people, meaning our own people. Okay. And I'm not going to stand there and allow this nigga to sit up here and profit and make dime when he sit here and he took advantage of a sister that was putting in the work. I mean, doing a lot of work, a lot of work. Eve was putting in a lot of work, and to just to hear what he did to her, I'm like, nah, nah. Because if you go back and you look in the annals of history, there have been women that have been part of the movements that have talked about how the men have treated them and how they pushed them to the back, and the men stepped up in the forefront, and the women never said anything. They were just quiet. They were being abused. They were being sexually assaulted. They were being taken advantage of. But for the movement, you know what I'm saying? They didn't say nothing when they were the ones who were doing the real legwork. And we need to acknowledge that we are equal. We are evenly yoked. Black men and women,
and,
we are evenly
and
yoked.
we can do hella better. We don't. We can do better than that.
Thank you.
We can do better, and damn it, we will do better. We have to do better. We all have experiences. I don't know. I may be one of the old Negroes on here, and I'm not that old. I'm 59, but I would say for some people, uh, from John Lewis's coon ass to a range of other people you call civil rights legacies, I've either met a whole bunch of them, known them, Chuck McDougall, Julian Bond, you name it. And we can do better. Bob Moses, I could just run through some of the people I've either met or worked with, going all the way back. C.T. Vivian. I talk about people that were with Dr. King and the movements in the 40s. What's his name? Jim Farmer, James Farmer. I knew them all, many of them. We can do better. We should have an aspiration to be greater. What I see in Black American people that I can't stand is a race to the bottom, and it's called keeping it real. That's bullshit. We should be doing our best instead of doing whatever falls out of our ass. And this is unacceptable, the treatment here. And, we cry, ooh, I would have never let that happen to Malcolm. I would have never let that happen. Well, damn it, you're letting it happen to Sister Eve. Damn all of us that won't speak up. And all the other victims that didn't get any help. It's a goddamn shame. It's a goddamn shame. How dare us bitch and complain about anybody if we won't have it amongst people who claim to know better, then damn it, do better. It's unacceptable. And and I'm sorry. For all the brothers, passport brothers and others, we bitch about how our women are. A lot of our women are the way they are because we've destroyed them. I've never seen another group of people take such pride in destroying their women and then bitch about the outcome. Damn it, do better, you'd have better.
Exactly. And or just be who you say you are, and I can stay far the fuck away from you. I'm really cool with just people being honest, and then I can make, a conscious decision about the people who are around me.
I think that's
So
what everybody wants.
What about your minis? It's 11 o'clock.
it is, and I do need to be
Mhm.
getting
Yeah, you
on
need
with
to
my
turn
life.
into a pumpkin, and maybe tune up that good husband of yours. Uh, shoot. You're a living photograph for him. Make his ass happy tonight. Okay,
Amen to that.
all
Amen
right.
to that.
So yeah,
Eve,
that's a good righteous ass husband that you got. God bless him.
I have a quick question. I have a quick question. So I know your husband is pissed off at this situation, right? But how exactly did he get these photos in the first place? Because if he hacked your phone or some shit like that, that's even
No, it's
worse.
not that. It was consensual. Like I've been, saying the whole time. Like, I think that if it were even more nefarious, I probably just would have bounced off of the internet all the way. But as it stands, this is a moneymaker for me, and it's a moneymaker for him. And if this is where you want to put your money, then that's cool. If you want to put your money over there, that's cool too. Just know what you're doing, because if and when you find out that this nigga is facing charges for some illegal shit, and then you're like, oh, that's so bad, and then you gave $1,000 because you wanted an executive producer credit. I think you should know stuff like that.
And
That that doesn't have any bearing on just for the listeners. That has no bearing on revenge porn. So if somebody gives you a photo knowingly or consensually, if you decide to still publish that photo, you're still liable for
yeah.
revenge
That's
porn.
right.
So don't think that. So don't take my. I was asking my question, but I want to clarify that question. The other thing is Jackson Reed. I think you were the person that he was failing to defend in that situation, and I thank you for your story. And your story is important because I think that we've allowed these talking heads to use delineation as a separation tactic as opposed to a means of unification. They've taken that narrative and completely, it's funny, or it was funny to begin with, the whole tether thing, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, delineation, defining separate lineages is is something that actually unifies us. Because when you define out a person's group, you're defining out their culture, you're defining out their history. You have to learn about them in order to understand them, right? So it's supposed to bring you closer together. But we've allowed these illiterate, uneducated people to take that narrative and run with it, and YouTube has backed them in them doing it. And so now we have this toxic narrative to where you think, well, not you think, but you're in a situation where it's surprising that it would be emotional for three black men to be taking care of another black man. You know what I'm saying? Where we are in a society where we're coddled by white people, where the white savior complex is really what we deal with on a real level all the time, right? Even though they don't actually save us, they just, reach out a hand and then snatch it back, right? So I think if you really care about that narrative, if that situation hit home with you, start taking over that narrative yourself. Start defining out delineation in a way that brings people together.
And
I have my framework, but you probably have yours. You know what I'm saying? Try to be the talking head that drowns out people like
and
Jason
this
Black.
is why
That's the only way it's
I
gonna
made
work.
the reference to reciprocal Pan-Africanism. Even in spaces where people are preaching separation, I've always said I'm a reciprocal. I'm for you if you're for me, and if you're just for you and I'm just for me, I'm still not against you. That's sort of how we should go. We should look for engagement with self and anybody that will work with us with respect for our particularity. In human rights lingo, it's called co-association. Mr. Reed is acting as a co-associate. There's something else that bothers me. A lot of these people don't know history. A lot of people don't recognize that in two particular places, I have to say, that a significant number of our people come from Barbados. Uh, at one point, 1 in 10, if not more, Jamaicans were people brought from the United States during the American Revolution, that we're crossed many times over from Cuba back and forth. I mean, and people haven't looked at how we can show connectivity. Instead, people have acted as if we're totally atomized. This is bullshit. I'm not saying that we don't have differences, but the same way I've got family that got scattered, that escaped with the British, that went to Canada, that went to Trinidad, they got taken to England. It's all in one bloodline, depending on what our circumstance was. Not that people have to love each other, be lovey-dovey, but if there is a place where people can coalesce and work together, we better damn learn to do that, because this world is becoming a crazy-ass place. And just as sure as I've gotten calls from Arizona, from somebody from Uganda that just got here, call from Philly, someone from Senegal that just got here. I know folk from Sudan that are fleeing genocide there. Everybody's catching hell in different places in the world. We're engaged with our brothers and sisters in Chicago. There's a war against us everywhere. Of course, you take care of home, but we should never take our eyes off of what's being done everywhere, because we're under attack. And of course, we should take our own traitors very seriously. Because I get angry sometimes every time someone's doing something to hurt the Black American community. The first thing they try to determine is whether they're from overseas. That's bullshit. I'm not saying that they're not,
I
that's
don't think so.
bullshit.
I don't think so. I think you're filibustering with a whole bunch of Pan-Africanist crap that really doesn't pay in with what's.
Okay. Hey y'all. I know it's been a minute since you've heard me talk because I've just been listening to everybody saying what they have to say, and I find that we are going in circles at this point because, everybody's not going to agree about how to do things. What we need to agree on is that if a wrong has happened, what side of the story you want to be on. And there's a lot of people who said, "Well, I didn't even know." Well, now you know. Do what you're going to do. But just know that I don't think that we're going to progress as a people if we got people on both sides of an argument that doesn't make sense, right? I don't understand why some of these circles keep happening, other than the biggest point that I've made tonight, I hope, has been we are a people who are owed a debt, not just Black Americans, but Black people across the fucking world are owed a debt because these white people came and interrupted on some "I'm white and I say so" shit. Now, where you get your pay from the wrong that's happened to you, there's a lot of things that need to happen there. But this Black first thing, this Pan African thing, the flat black, all of that is is a thing because nobody was really asking questions that matter. And I think that once you start to ask certain questions, you get to what Dr. Short's talking about or what Dr. Winters talks about, because Dr. Winters still very much says Black first. And I get it, because if you're doing what you need to do, then you would be Black first. But that already has issues because everybody ain't Black. So we got issues with how we identify. But knowing that we've got all these issues just makes it more strong for me that we're owed a fucking debt, and we're not going to get there if we keep having that pause and address some shit that really isn't going to help us get anywhere other than, well, now you feel better about knowing. What the fuck are you going to do about it? And I see your hand, Dr. Short. I'm a get to you. But Nunya, I'm with you. Pan-Africanism is gone. But you can't sit here and tell me that if you were in an accident and then you got wheeled to the emergency room and Jason Reed was, working on you, that you wouldn't want him to help you out or whatever, and if that's not what you were saying, then, I get the terms can cause confusion. But if we're all understanding that, if you're not fucking with me and I'm not fucking with you, and or if you are speaking up for me and I'm, doing what needs to be done, we can work together. I don't know why that's an issue, if it's an issue, but
Eve, let me just say something.
I'll
Well,
explain it
wait,
like
before you
this.
go, Nunya, because I'm about to go myself.
Go ahead.
Um, so I just want to just end with this. I don't. I'm not emotionally invested in the B1 black. What happened? It just burnt me out, and it gave me a very sour taste, bitter taste. I'm about my family. I learned a lot of people who stopped listening to your friend, Jeremy. I always tell them go outside and play. Once they start going outside, their lives started thriving. So go take what you want away from that. At the end of the day, my sister Eve is a victim of a crime, and I hope she's successful in getting justice. Okay, what happened to her was wrong, and we shouldn't make excuses. And technically, you see, I actually like 3% of what he says because he told me to get CDL, and now I got CDL. No, he's a bad guy. He's a bad person. He's a manipulator. He's a narcissist. He took advantage of one of the most vulnerable people, which are Black women. And I don't want to trying to say that Eve is weak. She's not. She's a strong, intelligent woman, but she fell victim too. And that happens to all of us. And due to her falling victim to this narcissistic, power hungry midget, put her in this situation where the most powerful thing a man could do is walk away. He decided to do the weakest thing in society and take advantage of a woman. So I think that
He was trying to
No,
fuck.
what
Let's
he
just be
no,
real. He was trying to
but
fuck.
we're not. No, 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 no. What he did was wrong.
In my opinion, he was trying to fuck on some coercive shit, and that didn't work. So then he tried to do some revenge porn shit. If what I'm hearing is correct, that's how I connect the dots. In my
No,
opinion.
you didn't. You need to hear the whole story.
Yeah, look,
You need to hear the whole story.
I promise it's
It
very detailed on some
exactly.
shit like tonight, where I've been live for a few hours and I feel like we're going in circles.
Yeah,
But
but that's my message.
Shantae, thank you for coming up tonight, and Jason, thank you for coming up tonight, and thank you for always presenting as a unit and being consistent, because I swear to God, I'm so simple, y'all. Like, if you're around me, I really would like people to be who they say they are.
Y'all
And from
ask
there,
questions. Learn to ask
like,
questions. Y'all don't like me. He didn't like me from the jump because I asked him questions. Because what he's saying makes sense. Like what? That don't make sense. Or man, that sounds stupid. You sound dumb. And I wasn't enamored by his voice or whatever. I'm like, no, this is stupid. And nobody liked when I said that. But at the end of the day, if it don't sound right, ask questions. And if they get offended by you asking questions, that should tell you from the get go.
that's facts. Real talk. Thank you for coming up. I'm gonna let y'all go because I
Good
know
night.
that y'all are also parents and you got work, and me too. I got all that stuff. I'm gonna take Dr. Short's considerations under advisement, maybe. As it stands, y'all already know a lot of shit that I didn't expect you to know. So what's one more thing, right? But anyway, Dr. Short, you had something else you wanted to say before I end the
Fight for
space.
justice, baby. You're old. Get some reparations. Get some MFM off of this. That's all I got to say.
That's right. That's motherfucking money. Nanya, did you have something you
And
wanted to
double
say?
check whether or not he was using Blog Talk Radio as well during that broadcast on
Why would that
Patreon.
matter?
Well, I'm sure they have terms of service that don't allow for revenge
Okay.
porn, which means he can't use that service any further.
Interesting.
And then I know I reported the fact that he did a doxing event to them directly, so they are made aware of his actions. So that could be part of a negligence claim, that they are aware that he's capable of doing these things. I gave them the video as well. I think I did. If not, I have that video. But yeah, so just take that into consideration as well on the civil side when you're speaking to an attorney.
I will absolutely take that under advisement. And as it stands, every time I do this, having to speak up for myself because I can't get on with my life because of these interruptions, I'm always learning something new. And I appreciate that that's how, well, the people who are around me are consistent. Y'all are always giving me something that I can, do something with, because I'm a person who does things. Again, nigga, you so smart. Why me? There's so many other people. Again, like Jason said, right? I'm not the only one. I'm just the only one who said something. So if this were a whole other situation, you might have found out about somebody else, and then we'd be having that conversation. Or would we?